Hello, my beautiful gemstones. Happy Valentine's Day. Thank you so much for being here and spending it with us. I got my Valentine's shirt on. So nice to see you guys. Thank you all for all the love and gifts and, just being you guys all year round. I just love and appreciate you all so much. And I'm grateful to have you guys in my life. Listen, on the 28th, so I don't think that's not next Friday, but the Friday after, we are going to be celebrating my birthday during Live Intuitive Oracle. My birthday is on the 1st, which is Saturday, so we're just going to do February 28th, Gemma Jade birthday celebration. The last 2 years, my birthday just happened to fall on the night that I streamed. Last year, it was a Friday, and 2 years ago, because of the leap year, it was on a Wednesday, and I was still filming on Wednesdays. But this year, unfortunately, it is on a Saturday, so we're going to do it on Friday night. Thank you all for the Valentine's wishes on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, the artist formerly known as Twitter, X, what's it called? Latro with the dad jokes coming in strong. Does anyone have any good jokes about aliens? There must be some out there somewhere. Visited a new business that creates religious statues. They have yet to make a profit. What happens when you fall in love with a French chef? You get buttered up. Ooh, I like that idea. Which type of flower is the best at giving smooches? Tulips. Dua Lipa. It reminds me of a dirty joke I know about tulips that I'm not going to say. I think Ramadan. When is Ramadan? Somebody said it's in 3 weeks, but that doesn't sound right. There's a reason I'm asking. Oh, Ramadan starts on March 1st. I didn't know that. I'm going to have to go to Patterson and get me some of that good food. I used to love being in Patterson during Ramadan because the streets would just be filled with people, and all of the restaurants have outside seating. So even though you're in the middle of the ghetto, you don't really notice it because everyone's loud, and there's tables just filled with all this food, and everyone's hugging and laughing and happy. It was a really great experience. I'm not Muslim, I'm Christian, but it was just great to see the culture. And I would always get some of the food. My friends would be like, oh, Gems, you got to try this, taste this. And it was just such a beautiful feeling in the atmosphere during Ramadan in my hometown. And I haven't been back in 6 years, but I think that I'm going to get some food, or have my husband pick me up some food, or have my dad bring me some food. Like, I want some Ramadan food. So I'm going to see if I can make that happen. Anyway, that was random. I know. I hope you guys have been supporting the YouTube shorts. I do a lot all at once, and then there's a few days where I don't do any, but they do make a huge difference. My watch time and view hours are way down, but I also haven't been doing as many shorts, so it makes sense. And then with Ghosty not feeling too well for the past month or so, we lost a lot of views there. But guys, support me in whatever way you can by watching the streams, watching the pre-recordeds, attending the lives, or watching them after, and of course the shorts. I try to make you guys laugh as best as I can in those for the most part. Lotus, you do what you need to do. I got you. You know that. You're good. You're dealing with a lot. I know. Ghosty, Ghost Dragons, imagine meeting you here. Blue Crossroads, hey folks, on my way home to Home Depot. New house stuff is never done. Just wanted to say hello to all and happy Valentine's Day. See y'all in a bit. And I also need bananas, so make that 2 stops. Okay. Jim's camera at dawn. Hey, what's up, darling Deb girl? Yeah, Edna, happy Valentine's Day. Latro, Divine Empathic, good evening. Miss Grey Wolf, hello. Oh, thank you. I got an early happy birthday. Yes. We're not quite in Pisces season yet, though. I'm not one of those crazy Aquariuses. No offense to anyone. I won't mention any names like Smoochie. And my sister Carol, by the way. Love my Aquarius people. Lindsay, I always remember your birthday because it's the day before RJ's, and RJ's is the day before Ray's, and Ray's is 4 days before my mom. So that whole July, second week of July. Pulling in 5 minutes. Yeah, Lotus, I'm going to talk about that right after I do introductions. Hello, Roger. Zua Chica. Forgot today was Valentine's Day. Life with Bobby. What's up, girl? I will binge watch Gemma. I would love it if you did. That would be amazing. And this says, send good vibes and luck to my grandson. He was chosen among a few to possibly get a $400,000 scholarship. On my knees for this one. I will be lighting a candle for that one. I'm actually literally going to put it on my, candle prayer list. All right. We've got, Edna, would you give us his first name? Miss Grey Wolf, I know you have wonky Wi-Fi, so if you want a reading or have to leave or feel like you're going to pop off for any reason, let us know, okay? We also have one or two things I want to talk about. What's up, Melissa Nicole? Nightmare. Caleb. Okay. He is very deserving. Walk around and act as if he already got it. Start making the plans. Put that energy out there. My sister is a crazy Aquarius and she'll celebrate all month long and longer if she can. Yeah, my sister is January 30th. Kind of same thing. They're kooky, they're wacky. You got to love them, but it does depend on what your sign is, how you perceive Aquarians, right? So Lotus Girl and I have been talking. We need some really serious, like on your knees, prayers for Harold Hillbilly, her husband. Harold S. I saw some really horrible things in a reading with his health, and she and I are very concerned. She's trying to do everything she possibly can to prevent what I saw from happening. So I gave her the exact details. We've kind of been brainstorming. I've been, talking to Spirit a lot first. So we need all the positive energy and vibes. Miss KC has been in and out of the hospital as well. She's a little bit more private, so I won't spread her personal information, but she's got some illness going on as well. And she really asked for some prayer. So guys, give all the energy you can, but save some for yourself. Let's bring in the Ghost Dragon.
This is the ritual now. It wouldn't be me coming in without me being on mute. Hey, Cliff. Now I don't have to type you in. I'm already getting tired.
We accidentally matched at the
beginning, so.
We accidentally matched with the red and black.
Yep.
Okay. Why don't we just jump in and get started, and anything else that comes up, I will discuss it as we go along.
If you want to go ahead and do Grey Wolf and get her out of the way.
Yeah, let's do that.
And that way, she's not in a whole lot, and I know she retires early, so.
Lotus, you're more than welcome. You know I got you.
Yes, we do.
Miss Grey Wolf, I'm going to use the Seeker Oracle. Well, Blue Crossroads, I'm here with you all. We're all here with each other on Valentine's Day, so don't feel any type of way about that. That occupy the beat chat on the go to vault. Oh, the best. I think the best. I'm like, hey, I'm down with the steak, Lacho. I love me some steak. Smoochie, Gooman Spirit. Human Spirit. You got it, Miss Smoochie. I actually do know that's your favorite. All right, Miss Grey Wolf, tell your story. We all have a history, a story to share. By sharing our story, we share real life issues that often reveal that others have had similar experiences. It can bring people together. All of a sudden, they discover that they're not alone. There's no right or wrong way to share, but do be discerning. There's a right time and a right place to share. Sharing at the right time can bring people together. Sharing at the wrong time can alienate people, especially if they too have been attempting to be heard. Be careful when you use your voice that you do not speak over others. To listen and hear others share their stories equally as important as sharing your own. Give yourself permission to tell your story, for it is your truth. Allow others to bear witness. Sharing your story is powerful. Owning it completely is to stand in your light and shine. Doing so may provide an opportunity to address any past issues that still cause confusion, heartache, or have you feeling afraid or angry. Sharing can bring clarity and help to dissolve the emotional bonds that anchor you to the moment. It can help you heal or transcend them. It can help you move forward with a lighter heart and spirit. Share what's in your heart and mind. Little Bird says, sing your song, whether it be sweet or sorrowful. It will always be beautiful and powerful. So, yeah, Grey Wolf. What's up, Jared? Anybody else that came in that I didn't see? So, Grey Wolf, it's like, I don't know if you're planning on like writing a book, but I am seeing this being something bigger than you just like talking about your life, right? So this is either you passing down important information, life stories to like the younger generations in whatever capacity, whatever that looks like for you. I don't know your family dynamic, like if you're a mom, a girl, I don't know any of that, but I do see you like, I see this more as like a gathering, and you're like telling the story. There are a couple other things here as well that I'm seeing with this card too that are equally as important. So one of the things is be careful. Okay, so even if and when you're telling the truth about someone, be mindful of when and how you do it. I do feel like you're finally ready or will be soon to share your story. And it's like you're indifferent to it almost, you know? Like, for example, I'm just an example, say that like, you know, when you were growing up, your sister used to really emotionally abuse you and bully you, and you've never really gotten along with her, but you've done all the inside work and you've come to terms with it. So now when you talk about it, it's like, this is just something that happened, but it's how other people are going to perceive that. Like you're attacking your sister or trying to make your sister look bad. You've got to watch who you share this information with, because a lot of people, particularly that are surrounding you right now, are not going to understand that to you, it's just, again, sharing your experiences, sharing your truth, and being honest about not only the things that you've done, the things that were done to you. I don't know why or how this is going to come up in the next couple of months, but I will say, be discerning about who you honestly respond to. There are people that absolutely need to hear what you have to say, but there are others that no matter what you say, they're going to find something wrong with it, right? You have some toxic energy around you. Because I read for you every month personally, I'm pretty sure I know what that is. You know, there are some people you can't say anything to. They're always going to take it the wrong way. You could tell them they look beautiful, they're incredible, and bow at their feet, and they'll mock you for that. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, you can't win for trying with a lot of people. I feel like there are people that definitely need to hear what you have to say, though, particularly about some things that are going on or that have happened in your life that have gotten you to where you are. To you, it's just things that happened. You know, it's kind of like when I talk about my addiction and people are like, you know, aren't you ashamed of that? Or, oh, you're proud of that? Or that's nothing to laugh at. It's like, no, I'm not ashamed. I'm not proud. And I don't really particularly think it's funny. It's just, it happened. I can't, you know, so I just have come to terms with like, this is the life I used to live. And I feel like that's kind of where you're at. You know, you're unapologetically ready to tell your story and be totally and completely honest, authentic, and transparent. But there will be people who aren't ready to face themselves in that way. Everyone's always telling me, you should write a book about your life. Your life's been so crazy. And I'm like, I know, but I need so-and-so to pass away first. And they're like, why would you? I'm like, because I don't want them to have to face the reality of the role they actually played in my life, not the role we pretend every day that they play. And that's what you're dealing with here. You have every right to say whatever you feel you need to say. Don't let anyone stop you. I hope you do, because this is actually a really powerful, starting off strong. Julie girl, Netter. All right, who's next?
Well, I don't think Blue is in his car or wherever he was at the moment. I think he's in the store. So go ahead and do Darling Deb.
All right, Deb girl, I hope you're here. Let's do deep, dark, and dangerous. You're welcome, Miss Grey Wolf. Thank you. I don't ever want Valentine's Day to be just another day. I don't ever want that. I always want it to be special. I'm big on holidays, like my birthday in particular. I really get like triggered when people don't acknowledge it. Like people close to me. I don't expect like everyone in the world, obviously, but like people close to me, when they don't acknowledge my birthday, it's a huge deal for me because of some things I went through when I was very young, surrounding my birthday. All right. Darling Deb. Honey, take a timestamp just in case she isn't here. The Selkie. Freedom. Card number 2. Please facilitate. What do you mean? Like incorporate it into a reading? Or do a... Oh. Jules, for some reason, I was thinking of the jean brand Lucky. I was like, you're working for them? And yeah, I got you. So Stephen, write down, I'll just say 13 if that's okay, or Lucky. Yes, Jules, I absolutely will. I got you. All right, Deb, I see you, girl. Thank you for the donation, by the way. Carl, what's up, girl? Oh, yeah, Anna, that's so sweet. My 6-year-old's homemade gifts are the actual best. I never received anything better than what this kid makes me for Valentine's Day, Mother's Day. I got a birthday card in the beginning of January. He wanted to make sure he didn't forget. All right, Deb, you can only pretend for so long before you have to tell the truth or find the truth. Seek authenticity. Containing yourself in a form that's not your own is rarely successful in the long term. Find out what sets you free. Acknowledge your own inner truth and be aware someone may be deceiving you under false pretenses. Selkie mythos is shared in the places where the sea is a truly dominant force and where colonies of seals live, like the Shetlands and other Scottish islands, the Faroes, Norway, and Iceland. Carl, I know you're at work. If you want a reading, you can pop the $2 in, and then we can timestamp you if you want. Unless you're just here to hang out, and that's fine too. Just don't want you to leave without a reading if you want one. Deb, I have personally read and listened to a lot of stories about Selkie since I have a kin bloodline that is Selkie central. That's the author, not Gemma. The mythos of the Selkie was something I dreamed about since I was small, and there are many versions of the Selkie mythos, but most involve beautiful, haunting imagery of female shapeshifters, women who live in the body of seals, but who can transform into enchanting women who appear human on land. A typical Selkie story is of a human man who watches a Selkie playing in a cove. She, at times, he observes, comes ashore for various reasons, dropping her skin and shapeshifting into a woman irresistible to him. When her land business is complete, she steps back into her seal skin and returns to the wild ocean that is her home. The human man falls in love with the Selkie woman and decides to wait for her to next transform from her seal form, and when she does, to take possession of and hide her seal skin. If a Selkie seal skin is withheld, they can't return to the ocean. Nightmare, happy Valentine's Day. Thank you so much for coming in, sweetie. If you want to stop back in later, if you're available, come on in. Unable to find her sealskin, Selkies are adrift in the human world. They become reliant on the quote-unquote kind human man who takes care of them and who begins to teach them the human way of things on land. Often the Selkie and the human man marry and even have children, but the wild heart of the woman is, of course, wedded truly to her life in the sea. She wants to go home. She yearns to be her true self. Eventually, the Selkie finds her skin and is reunited with her authentic form. Without even a backward glance, she steps into it, allows herself to be enveloped by her true shape once again, and re-enters into the aquatic world. Some stories tell of Selkies coming back every now and again to visit children. Some say they never ever return to the world of men who contain them under such false pretenses. And yes, there were male Selkies reportedly too, incredibly beautiful in form and very seductive. It was said that these Selkies looked for lonely human women to fornicate with. Lonely fishermen's wives were said to be ideal targets. Rarely was there a story where a male Selkie was parted from his skin like the females, so male Selkies seem to have avoided the trap of being made into someone's unwilling husband or lover for a time. Again, it seems human women and Selkie females got the raw deal. The essence of the Selkie is the idea of the triumph of authenticity over pretense and containment. Also, the deep pull of the wild self. After all, if the Selkies got their true skins back, they did not hesitate to leave their human world behind, and that even included leaving their own children. Your plant companion is bladderwrack, and your crystal companion is opal, any kind of opal. That beautiful opal you gave me, oh my God. I was just looking at it the other day. I was charging it up, and I did some breath work with it. So, Deb, this actually makes a lot of sense. Life with Bobby, that's amazing. My son's New Year's resolution last year was to clean up the house, and he had a little... So embarrassing. Okay, so Deb, I feel like you've long ago realized, like, you're starting even more now to realize that you entered into something under false pretenses. Somebody came around and was like, hey, I can help make your life better in this way, this way, this way, this way. And you believed him, hook, line, and sinker. You signed the contract, started the job, got into the relationship, whatever the case may be, only to find out that you were faked out. right? That this person actually, even though they brought some joy and love into your life, really, you're the one that ended up enriching their life, putting in all the effort, constantly saving them. We both know who this is. I know you know, not harping on you, not on you at all, because you know I know as well. This is just reminding you that that is the right step to take. That is the right path for you, the right track for you to get back in alignment with your soul's purpose, because right now you are out of whack. No matter what you try to do, you're never going to be able to do it 100% while you have this overbearing influence on your spirit. Not to mention that little boy. You have a little boy waiting to be born of you. And that's not going to happen in the situation you're in now. This person did, I mean, I'm sorry to say, but they did know what they were doing. You know, I feel like it came from a place of wanting to be genuine. So I'm not saying he is an addict or anything. I'm just using this as an example. It's like when an addict says, like, I want to get off the drugs. I want to have a family. I want to be with you. I'm going to do this. Yes, they absolutely mean it in that moment, usually when they're under the influence. And then once reality hits of like everything it's going to take for them to do that, that's why they go running back to it, because it's easier. This person's not ready to be accountable. They're not ready to change their lifestyle, and you deserve better. Hey, Carly Schultz, happy Friday, happy Valentine's Day. Nomeo. Who's next?
Well, since he hasn't popped back in again, go ahead and do it.
Hey, Batmom.
Valentine's Day, folks.
Right. They're not capable, but also, Deb, it could be charted in, right? Like this person's path could, like, this is their own mess they have to clean up, right? And that could be their path. Maybe it's not in the quote unquote stars for them right now. I'm sorry. Who did you say, Stephen? Hey, Miss Pixie.
Do blue. Blue's here. Do blue, and then do N.
Okay. Oh, Blue, that's so sweet. He said, okay, was in the parking lot, and a little girl with her parents came up to me and said, this is for you. Someone is thinking about you. Happy Valentine's Day. And handed me a glass heart. How sweet. That is so sweet. Aw. That is very special. It's that light that everyone in this chat, that we all have, guys. That's why people were like, hi, I'm Gemma, nice to meet you. And they're like, I almost died when I was 5. And like, they tell us their whole life stories. It's because they're attracted to our light. They don't even realize why they're doing it. And sometimes that's really comes in a good way as well. Like cute little gifts. Oh, I love that. That's so special. You should keep that. That really does mean something. That's really beautiful. They are honest and full of wonder. Yeah. You know, I love trying to watch the world through my 6-year-old's eyes and see everything as fresh and new and exciting. And, you know, I know how important it is to keep promises, you know, because so many were broken to me when I was little. My son knows if I say I promise, it's 1,000,000% happening, because I will fight to the death to make whatever it is happen. That's why I don't say it often, unless I'm absolutely sure of something. And if he really, here we go, Stephen, if he wants something really bad, he'll be like, do you promise? Right? Because he knows I'm not going to say yes unless I absolutely mean it. Girl, I know. That's okay, Miss Pixie. We kind of figured that, and we were sending you a lot of love. So Blue Crossroads, I'm using Moonology Manifestation. Full moon in Aries, cool your emotions. I haven't used this deck in a while. I actually forgot about it. I'm so glad I found it. Blue, are you in the middle of an argument or perhaps in the mood to pick an argument? Surely not. Or are you being overly forward? This is a time of heated emotions and frayed tempers. Anger is better than despair, as Abraham Hicks taught us, because anger spurs us on to do something. But you may get better results if you master your emotions. Now, I know you are a master of your emotions, so hold on. I will get to the bottom of this. Certainly avoid stirring the pot, or it could boil over. Cooling your emotions and being the peacemaker means you'll attract a more peaceful outcome. Seek a balance between you, and me. There's no point in pretending that you don't have intense feelings, as this blocks your manifesting powers. You need to work through your feelings by thinking of people involved or by forgiving yourself. Your manifestation affirmation: out of this, only good will come. Yeah, there's definitely something here that you are kind of suppressing your feelings and your emotions about, but I think we all have something like that in our lives. The reason this is coming up for you is because in the next couple of weeks, I feel like you're going to be seeing some injustices happening with people you really care about, and you're going to feel totally and completely helpless to do anything about it, because you will be totally and completely helpless to do anything about it. So getting angry and upset and, possibly taking out on the person that's having the issues is not the best idea. If you need to vent, it's probably best that you preface it with, I'm just venting here, not mad with you or not mad at you. I don't know. I always say mad with you and people say that's weird. It's mad at you. I just feel like your emotions could end up getting the better of you because hair stuck to my lip gloss, because there are such intense feelings here. And again, there's this helplessness. Helplessness doesn't equal hopelessness, though. And I do feel like whatever this is actually going to turn out to be a really good thing for you and whoever else is involved, whether it's one person or many, because it's going to kind of spur the universe on to get a ball rolling, right? So keep that in the back of your head as these feelings start to come to pass. Like, okay, it's happening now, and now, things are going to start moving closer towards our goal. That's why these bad things are happening a little bit more than usual. That's why I feel more helpless than I normally would. It's actually because the universe is changing things in my and this other person or these other people's favor. Make sure you don't accidentally snap on the wrong person simply because you're ready to snap. And Edna. Let's use Shaman's Dream. And that exactly. It's all the time.
You got it right, Edna?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'm using Shaman's Dream. Going to get bananas. Okay. Spirit of the River. Movement toward adventure. Addiction to problems, allowing and trusting the current. The spirit of the river invites you to step into the flow, to stop swimming against or avoiding the current. Allow the waters to carry you downstream, away from the eddies and whirlpools. It's time to heed the call of a new adventure waiting for you. Stop working on the problem for a while. The issue is not what it seems. It's your addiction to fixing what has gone bad that is consuming so much of your time. Work to create a greater good, and the bad will resolve itself on its own. There's nothing that you can accomplish with more quote-unquote efforting. Oh, thank you guys. You're a few weeks early, but I do appreciate it. You guys are awesome. There's nothing that you can accomplish with more quote-unquote efforting, as the situations in your life right now are subject to forces beyond your control in some cases. Recognize this, take a step back, and trust their flow. There is no loss of faith or lack of honor or integrity. It's simply the way things are at this moment. When this card appears, it's time to say yes to the next leg of your journey. Your life is like a river, inevitably and inexorably flowing to the sea, which is your divine destination. Be fearless and release yourself to the rushing water in the middle of the stream. Whatever it is you're holding on to, the feelings, the thoughts, and beliefs about how things are or how they should or could be or could have been, can be easily fixed with the power of the spirit of the river. Simply let go and enjoy the thrill of the ride. All will be well. So, yeah, I feel like because someone did wish me a happy birthday, and because I was talking about how my birthday show is going to be on the 28th. So, okay, I got you. Thank you. And thank you for all the donations throughout the week, Jules. I really do appreciate that. And everyone else, you guys know. And I feel like it's not so much that you're trying to you are definitely a fixer, But I feel like you've learned and grown so much, even in like the last 3 or 4 years that I've been reading for you on an almost weekly basis. It's like you already know what's coming. You know who's playing what games. Like you are onto it. I feel like though there is one situation in the next couple of weeks that it's not so much that you're like, "Oh my god, I gotta fix this." It's just like, why can't this just be over?" Because you can't do anything to end it because it's out of your control. It's the way another person is behaving or acting or energy they're putting out. So you can't control that. You have no interest in talking to them and fixing you just want it to go away. And the universe is saying you have not yet learned everything that there is to learn from this person slash situation. That's why it's not going away. The thing is to remember that you are learning, particularly in the next couple of weeks and in this situation, from afar. Don't get pulled back in to where you're going to be like giving any energy to this person or this situation at all. Watch it happen from afar. No matter what happens, do not step in because that is placing yourself right in the path of whatever this is that's happening. Not only is it going to slow it down on that end with the lesson they're supposed to be learning, more importantly, at this time for you, it's going to bring you right back into the thick of it. And then who knows when you're going to be back out. Watch as a bystander, a passerby, someone viewing through the eyes of another, like you're watching a movie. You have no control over what happens on the screen, no matter how much you yell and scream. Watch it, let it go, let it flow. It is about to end, and I think it's going, whatever this is for this person, I'm smiling not because it's funny, but it's going to end in spectacular fashion. Like they have really effed up this time. I don't even think it's with your situation. I just feel like in general, they are spectacularly going to fail on display. And you get the satisfaction of watching it happen and having nothing to do with it. I call you like now? You want me to call you while you're on stream? Or you mean like tomorrow after basketball? Because I can do that. Thank you, Anna. Anna says I'm right on. Mm-hmm.
Ready? Is Divine still in here?
Spectacularly bad. And the only reason I'm laughing is because this person deserves everything they're getting. So I love watching people get their comeuppance. Okay, so Jules, yes. I've got basketball from 9 to 10. Then I usually go to McDonald's, breakfast, Walmart. Sometime tomorrow afternoon, I'll text you first to make sure you're available. Yeah, we can do that. Infinite psychosis. Yeah, Edna says, I swear I don't tell her my life, folks. She's reading my life. You are very open. And I love that. I mean, all of you are. I usually can read you guys fairly well, especially like the more you guys come in here. And Edna, you are one of the people that's been coming in the longest. But what you said last week really resonated with me when you were like, right before Gemma reads for me, I make sure I open up my energy and put it out to her. And I just pick things up with you, like specific things sometimes too, that I'm not usually as specific. And I love that. So thank you. And thank you for letting people know that, because I feel like more people are going to be doing that now, like purposefully setting the intention of allowing me to read them. Infinite's back in our realm. So guys, what do you think of this black amethyst? I can kind of see the purple tint. I love it. You need to learn to block your energy. Divine Empathic, are you here, sweetheart? You're up. I think what you mean, Life with Bobby, is you need to learn how to block other people's energy from touching yours or from giving away too much of your own. Thank you, Carly. I've had it for a while. I haven't worn it. I switched the chain on it because it was really long. It always just looked like a lump of sparkling obsidian, but in these new lights, you can see the purple. You can see that it's black amethyst. All right. I'm sorry. Who's next? Divine? Divine didn't answer.
Yeah, I know. She'll pop back in. She might be busy. Melissa, are you still here? Melissa, you still here?
Melissa Nicole.
If not, Cliff.
Smoochie, is amethyst your birthstone or is it garnet? Garnet, you're a January Aquarius, right? Psycho, like my sister. I mean, a beautiful, wonderful human being. Psycho! But I love it. I'm a Pisces. I attract y'all. But Mom, I'm good. I had a great day. Very interesting, nice day. Got a lot of work done. Purple amethyst rocks. But and Stephen, I know that you said who it was, but I forgot already. Okay, Divine's here.
Divine's here. Yay.
Divine, I know we've been using this deck a lot, but it is calling to you. We're going to use Dark Goddess again. I use this for myself today. I can't really read for myself, but sometimes I will, like once a year, right? I'll take the time to do a small reading for myself, and I don't pick up nearly as much as I would for you guys, but I did use this deck today, and I did get some info. I'm going to check my emails. That dragon sword guy, I forgot his name, but he was so sweet. He never came back in, and I know he emailed me. I just didn't get to him. I get overwhelmed very easily. All right, so Divine, you got Matt. The card of Judgment. Yeah, it's black amethyst, which I had never heard of until I saw it. No, I did blue already. You might be on a delay because Divine, this is you. We're using Dark Goddess again.
Hit the little red button on your screen that says live. Click that and it will bring you up to date.
Well, if she's on a delay, she's not going to hear that. Hold on.
Thank you. You type better than I did.
Okay. Equilibrium sets you free, so focus on integrity. Stephen, record the time in case she needs it, please. Scales of justice weighs all blight. Releasing judgments keeps the heart light. By the power of the Dark Goddess in me, protection in place. Blessed be. Perry Dot August, I love that. I love all the birthstones. Of course, May Emerald is my favorite because I love green. Then Sapphire, Ruby, September, July. I love them all. Mine's Aquamarines. I never really liked it until recently. I started understanding what that gemstone is about, and I started working with it, and I like my birthstone now. Divine, you've been carrying around the weight of the world on your shoulders. Your heart feels so heavy with responsibility of burdens forced upon you and of the love you so freely give and yet never seem to receive. You have always stood for justice, truth, and morality, and your heart is saddened that those around you or others around you do not adhere to those same principles. You feel unbalanced, that you're not in control, that chaos is ruling your life, and that you are being sucked into a dark chasm of despair. Help is at hand, for Matt has heard your cry and will remove anything that is unbalanced from your life over time. Others are judging you for what you're trying to achieve. Matt asks you to destroy untruths by becoming the judge of your own life. Time to feel as light as a feather as you unburden your heart from the wrongdoing of others. The day of judgment has finally arrived. Divine, avoid criticizing the effort of others. You have been judging yourself way too harshly. Someone is keeping a truth from you. Don't be afraid to speak up. Your honesty will ensure the desired outcome. The worst is now behind you. Keep your material and spiritual lives in balance. So, wow. Oh, life with Bobby. Ruby is my youngest son's, my husband's, and my mom's. And Miss Grey Wolf's. Divine, this has, we were talking last week about court and possibly, getting a lawyer or something like that. And then here we are again this week talking about justice, the scales of justice. So you see how they're tipped in her hand? As mad as you are, as much ammo as you have against another person or other people, let's just say one person to make it simpler, because I do think it's one person. As much terrible, horrible, negative things you can say, that would be totally 1,000,000% true. The universe is saying, don't do all that. Just stick to the necessary, essential facts so that you can move forward more quickly and get things done the way that you need to much, much more quickly. For me, I always say, I get depressed and I'm like, I feel responsible for everything, yet in control of nothing. And I feel like you felt that way for a little while in a particular situation because you're darned if you do and you're darned if you don't. Either way, someone gets hurt. Well, here's the thing. You have to start worrying about you not getting hurt and those you're responsible for being protected. Do not wage an all-out war. Okay? I know it might be tempting to make fun of someone's pitiful efforts But if they were genuine and sincere efforts, then I would stay away from that, because in the eyes of like the law or a judge or even like a lawyer, like it's going to make you look weak. It's going to make you look whiny. It's going to make you look childish and immature. Stand your ground on the facts, right? The facts are going to speak for themselves. Latro, hold that thought. The facts are going to speak for themselves. You don't have to dig deeper to try to hurt the other person. For as well-meaning as the other person's pretending to be, I do feel like they have a heart for the situation, but they just think they can get away with whatever they want, and it's going to be the way that it always was, with them doing whatever they're doing, you sacrificing and compromising with and for them, and then coming back just to keep repeating the same pattern. That is a control mechanism. Knowing that your daughter wants to see her father is what her father is using to control you. Well, I know I effed up. I know I behaved badly. I know, I did whatever poorly, but she still wants to see me. So go ahead and tell her she can't and be the bad guy. That's what you're going to have to do. Obviously, I'm not a lawyer, but I'm just saying, when you go forward with this, whenever it may be, just stick to the facts. It's going to be really tempting to talk about every single bad thing this person's ever done to you. Talk about the here, the now, the past few, however many months, and stick to the facts. All right. That's really important. Also, just watch your spending in the next 2 weeks. I do feel like something's going to come up in the next month or so that's going to require a little bit more of like a chunk. And if you don't have something put away, if you like, now's not the time to splurge or spoil yourself. And exactly, this person is using this kid as a control mechanism. And I say this kid just because I don't want to publicly say your daughter's name. I don't mean that disrespectfully, Divine. Because they know that Divine knows that it's going to hurt the child not to see him. So what he's doing is, I can behave however I want, because as long as my daughter doesn't see it, her mother knows my daughter's not going to understand why she can't see me. I hate when people use kids as pawns. Whether it's the custodial parent or like, kids are not weapons, they're kids, and it destroys them. Trust me, it destroys them when they're kept from a parent that they love. Kids don't see parents for who they are until they're older, right? They see their parents as their parents. That's it. So what daddy does to mommy or what mommy does to daddy is irrelevant to the child, as long as nobody's being obviously physically hurt. Even emotional abuse, kids don't understand that. I've been in an emotionally abusive relationship with one of my kids, and they just thought like that's how parents act, or that once they got older, they thought that me and their father just weren't affectionate. And like, no, I was being emotionally abused and neglected in the situation. So Latro, honestly, when I buy, and I do buy crystal jewelry for my kids. Now, Damien refuses to wear jewelry, so he just hangs it around. But rainbow obsidian, because it's like this, it's black, but in a certain light, it'll look a little bit like a rainbow. On my finger, I don't know if you could see the tint, gold obsidian, regular black obsidian, labradorite is actually a men's stone. Gold, tiger's eye, specifically the gold, the red, the blue is good too, but they're usually synthetic. You got to be careful. So tiger's eye, labradorite, rainbow, golden, or regular obsidian, I would say, are really, really great stones for men. But there's so many: turquoise, howlite, the stone Ghost is holding up is labradorite. It's actually the dragon stone. It's like a beautiful grayish, bluish stone. My daughter was hitting me because she thought that that's the way to behave. Yeah, and I thank God that my kids didn't grow up seeing any of that. Like, by the time my kids were adults, oh, Miss Pixie, I love silver sheen obsidian. By the time my younger kids were adults, they had no idea that their father was abusive to me, because after he went to jail for abusing me when we were very young, he was like 19 years old or 20. He never laid a hand on the stepmother. He was verbally abusive and a total bum, but they didn't understand that he used to do that to me until he actually admitted it to them, that I used to really, physically hurt her. Which one was that? What's up, Juan? Which was the
one I just
last one you
showed.
showed me?
I got the blue one. That's the one.
That's the Labradorite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the one you sent me.
That's also Labradorite.
And then the one Edna sent me with the dragon's head, which is
I think that might be obsidian.
Yeah, she'll
Or
tell you
polished tourmaline. Who's next?
Okay,
Juan,
Melissa.
nice to see you.
Melissa.
Melissa.
Hello, Juan. Happy V-Day.
Melissa, I'm going to use the Vampire Oracle. I got my festive nails on. Miss Pixie, silver sheen is beautiful. I was going to buy a silver sheen obsidian ring, but they were out of stock, so I got the golden. I think I sent Batmom a golden obsidian tumblestone. She won it, actually, a couple years ago. I think it was Batmom. I love this chat. I really do. Cliff, how are you doing, honey? You know, Batmom, I did feel very validated because my two oldest boys, I didn't see them because of their father. Like, I went to pick them. He's like, you should move in with me, this and that. I had just gotten out of a relationship. I stayed at his house for a week with the kids. He's like, let's sit them down, our two boys, and tell them that, you know, mom's moving back in. We're going to get back together. The day I showed up with a U-Haul, he had moved out, and I did not see my kids for 13 years. It was like this whole thing, right? And when I started trying to talk to them again, they just couldn't understand why I would leave the relationship. And so I explained to them how they ended up with him, more tomfoolery and trickery done by the grandparents. And I take responsibility. I was 18 and I didn't know what the hell I was doing in life. But I told them my part of it. And I said, you know, your father used to cheat on me and beat the crap out of me. They did not believe me. Once he admitted it to them, my oldest son and I now have an amazing relationship. My second oldest, my son Logan, he's the only one right now I'm still struggling with. But I kind of always knew that because I was with my son Kyle until he was like 4.5. So we were like me and RJ are. So I knew that he would come back to mom because he's a mama's boy. My son Logan, I never really got to know. So still struggling with him. But all my other kids, you know, once the father admitted it, my son was like, yeah, I believe now, you know, like now I can see it, because he would think of how his father acts towards his stepmom, not to the point of physical violence, but just the rage and the anger all the time. And yeah. All right. Yeah, I just do not pick good men. Or I didn't, you know, since I've been 38 years old, I'll be 42 on the 1st. I've learned so much about myself and so much about why I've made the terrible choices that I've made in my life. And I know now that I will never make those choices again. I just hate that it wasn't instilled in me since I was little. Right? Like, I love my mom, no shade on her. This was her generation. You know, I was basically told, not really even by my mom, because I was raised half my life by my dad and my stepmom, and half my life by my mom and my stepdad. But I was told by my dad, like, find a nice man, right? Like, I was not told. My dad told me you can do whatever you want, but why do that? You know, you can get a guy to take care of you. Like, that was my dad's mindset and how he raised me. And it took me a long time to get out of that. To understand that, like, I am capable and able to do whatever I want for me. Black obsidian. Yep. I love black obsidian. I just think it's such a beautiful, and it is, black obsidian and black tourmaline are definitely two really powerful energetic clearers. I don't know why, but this ear is like, you know, when you get like an earache. Ooh, lapis. Lotus used to send me a giant crystal every month to pay for her reading, which she was way overpaying. So eventually I was like, listen, you're way overpaying. So she stopped. She now just pays me like the money. but I have so many giant, beautiful. The first one she ever sent me was black obsidian, but she sent me, I just want to show you guys this really quick. So on top of a giant rainbow moonstone, I've got blue apatite, black obsidian. She sent me so many, a big amethyst chunk, a giant rose quartz, but this, my celestite, angelite, which looks a lot like aquamarine, and then lapis. Look at this. And she sent me, if you guys watch like my videos, especially the shorts, I'm always wearing a ring. It's got a big blue chunk. It's a lapis ring she sent me for my birthday one year. All right, Melissa, sorry about that. You got natural, card number 40. Any kind of moss agate. I love the, yeah, I guess it's called moss. I love green. If it's green, it's me. All right, Melissa, to be your own true self is a lifetimes long purpose. It is the purpose of this existence, and for each of us, despite the labels we all have, human, vampire, woman, man, etc., we have something greater at play. How the essence, that very drop of pure self, makes itself known through us. And for this miracle to take place, there are habits to be shed, reactions to be questioned, challenges to be met, and experiments to be made. For you are not who every time I read for you, I'm just saying, Latro, yeah, something tries to stop me from getting it out. For you are not who you have been told you are. And so with this card, we ask for you to clearly and finally perhaps understand and acknowledge that all that you are can be discovered when you take yourself within and quietly feel, look, and listen to your own self. Not the self of the label, the job, not the defenses you have developed to protect yourself, not the protests of ego or the demands of voices within, others' voices. It is who you truly are. And then, once having found a sense of that, to live from that place in small, consistent ways each day, right? And that's exactly what I was talking about that I've been doing for the past almost 4 years. And it has been effing liberating. How that manifests will be unique for each of you, but we ask for you now to go beyond the labels of time, place, family, education, and status, and go very, very deep within yourself. There's something within you that is more than the history of other people. It's yours alone, and the world needs it to be expressed. Otherwise, why would you have been created? For each of us, every drop of rain, every stone, every creature of the sky and of the land has their role and their parts to play. We need to become our natural self again, beyond what we're told we are, who we're told we are, and to live from that place always. And this will create a satisfying and more peaceful, harmonious life, no matter what challenges you meet from within or without. You are precious to the world, Melissa, especially so when you find that part of you that is only yours to offer and add it to the song of the world. Make all that is more beautiful, more fulfilled, and more totally realized as a consequence of your soul's truest expression. This is talking about your contribution to the collective and that it's lacking, and not in like a blame, I'm blaming you sort of way. The collective is missing your spirit, Melissa. The blessing. When you take away the trappings of money, power, status in the world, you are left with the things of the spirit, and you are rich in the ways of the soul indeed. This creates a balanced, centered, strong core. Curse. Too much reliance on the feedback of society or of another. Self-worth is centered in status and therefore is constantly shifting. You are uncentered and unbalanced. Working with this card, there has been an over-reliance on ways of identifying who you are, whether you've categorized yourself by a job or your appearance, personality, or wealth and background. It's time to go beyond this to who you truly are and know yourself from the inside out. This doesn't require puzzlement and complexity. It requires quiet, distillment, and true reflection and contemplation of the self. You have too many definitions others have given you. Let them go and learn the song within you and give voice to that in order to become natural and truly fulfilled as your own self. So, Melissa, I kind of hate that all of the readings I do for you center around your relationship with this person. But unfortunately, it's kind of become who you are because you are very much under his control. The universe is telling you that, the time has come and gone, but it's still here for you to move into a place of being unapologetically you. You have to find a way to not continuously allow there to be consequence for you being yourself. Now, normally I'd say emotionally detach and ignore that consequence, but you're being physically abused. And the only reason I talk about that is because you gave me permission to do so. Melissa, it's very hard to read for you because the things that you're meant to be doing, you're stifled in your spirit because the consequence could be violence. I don't know if this person is living with you still. If they're not, then I feel like this is time for you to really start expressing yourself, start being who you are. The point that I've been getting in the past few weeks for you is to be so incredibly difficult while also keeping your distance that this person, you're not worth the effort to them anymore. And it's not that you're not worth effort, girl, because believe me, you are. And you are gorgeous, by the way. And plenty of men would love to be with you and bow at your goddamn feet. Okay, excuse my language. This guy wants somebody that they can easily control and manipulate, that they can love bomb and breadcrumb. I know you're used to that dynamic, but if you can just pull yourself out for long enough to have a couple nights worth of fun, to be around positive people or a person who's going to support you, it's your time to shine and to be you and to find real love, but not outside of you, to find real love of yourself, to stop being the person he's labeled you and that he's forced you to be. I lived in fear for years. I would literally walk around so stiff. I was afraid to speak. Because any little thing I did, if I watched a certain show, it was because I was thinking of an ex-boyfriend. And if I whistled, I was signaling to someone outside to come hurt him. If somebody called and by the time we got to the phone, they had hung up, it was a signal that someone was outside. Like, I lived with a schizophrenic alcoholic, a violent one. I understand it. But the only way out is through. And I feel like you may not have the self-confidence to walk away. You've got to force yourself. Even if you're walking away saying, I'm losing everything, I don't know what I'm going to do, that's fine. You don't have to know. The universe knows. You just have to make the decision that enough is enough. That's it. I know the authorities aren't much help, but if you really stay on it and stay on them, something will have to be done. Or get someone to beat his ass. I mean, I'm not saying you should do that, but who's next?
Okay. First, read private chat, and then next is Cliff. And he is here.
Yeah, we can do that. Cliff, let's see. Let's use liminal spirits. Cliff, by the way, I have a personal coming for you. I'll just text it to you when it's done. It'll be done sometime this week. Guys, my book has been pushed up. Instead of my birthday, March 1st, it's probably going to be released more closer to the 25th of February because it's almost done. And let me tell you, as in, like, I always, if you have any of my Gone books, you know that the stories are fairly short. They're no more than 3,000 words. When I tell you I covered Elise the Lamb at 8,000 words, y'all are going to want to read this book, let me tell you, because I spoke to her. I'm just saying. Walking on eggshells, then razor blades. Yeah. You know, and he died of a brain aneurysm at 34 years old. Oopsie, made a oopsie. All right, Cliff. Gateway to the liminal spirits. Thank you, Divine. Yeah, and then, guys, I'm doing Encounters with Evil Part 2. because a lot of people have been asking for that. It's going to have all different types of encounters. Elisa Lam was overtaken by a demonic spirit. She was sexually seduced and tormented and then played with. She didn't know what she was. I might cover it on my channel. She didn't know what she thought it was a person. She didn't know that she was dealing with a spirit. She wasn't being demented or scared in the elevator. If you even ask body language experts, they'll tell you she was being sexually flirtatious. That's what she was doing. Yeah. She met this entity in the hotel, and it was a gorgeous. If you see the show Lucifer, the guy who plays Lucifer kind of looked like that. And they were playing. He was playing. He was normal and wonderful, and that's how they get you. Okay. Luckily, her soul was not kept. She was protected. She was either, I don't know if she was Christian or if she was Baptist. She was protected. Most of our souls are, no matter what we believe about religion. But yeah, she was sexually seduced by a demonic figure. I don't know. I guess it was just in the hotel. I like that show too. I like it a lot. I've only seen like the first 3 seasons, then I stopped watching it. Okay. Cliff, you got the card of time. These are a little bit hard for me to find because they're not in any particular order, so please bear with me. I mean, I guess they are in an order, but I don't really understand them. Okay. Cliff, we tend to look at time as an adversary, making us wait too long, or pushing us to hurry it up. But time is beyond the linear and is not confined to our clocks and watches. Time is about marking the phases of the moon, observing the Earth's revolution around the sun, and understanding the schedules of our own bodies. We're beings of both lunar and solar cycles. When we seek to understand their timely influences upon us, we gain wisdom and power. As the moon waxes and wanes, so shall you. Cliff, attune yourself to the flow of the lunar tides to strengthen your magic and work with the lunar phases, not against them. Excuse me. Nice, Blue. I love that. The setting of the sun marks the end of one day and the beginning of another. Things may be in transition, but there's a new opportunity for you on the horizon. It's time to buckle down and set a schedule for yourself that makes more sense for your mind, body, and your spirit. Rushing has led to important details being overlooked or forgotten. The Cecil Hotel is a demon. It's the land. You can't help it. Even if they knocked down, they changed the name. Doesn't matter. It's the land. The footage is on YouTube, Blue. Just put Elisa Lam elevator footage. It's on YouTube, babe. All right. So, Cliff, I feel like there's going to be some, I want to say miscommunication, but like, there's going to be a delay in the next couple of weeks in something you were planning on, or something you were betting on happening. Maybe like, I'm just going to use for an example, like a job offer or like a first date with someone. Like there's something you were expecting to go a certain way because you did everything you were supposed to do. It's like this deal has been made or whatever the case. There is going to be a delay in some plan. The reason you'll find out is because you accidentally forgot to do something, or you looked past something, or you thought something wasn't important and so you didn't really pay attention to it. I would say go with the flow of this, because there could be a bigger reason as to why this delay is happening. Like maybe whatever this isn't actually meant to be, and the delay during the, like while you're withstanding the delay, something else will come in that's better than what you're originally waiting for. And had what you were originally waiting for happened without the delay, this other opportunity never would have come in. So it's actually going to turn out to be a good thing, but I feel like it's going to feel very frustrating. Like it's very I'm getting this aggravated feeling like this is effing ridiculous. Again. Also, I would say In the next couple weeks specifically, make sure you're taking care of yourself. Don't drink to excess. Don't, do drugs to excess. I'm not one of those people that believes you shouldn't do drugs. I'm sorry. I don't. I think we should have control over what we put in our body, whether you do drugs or not. I'm just saying nothing to excess. Okay. I do see some health issues possibly springing up if you were to overdrink, overeat. Watch out for going out to eat. There could be some food poisoning involved here. I'm just seeing issues in this area, chest and stomach. If you're not careful, you need to take a little better care of yourself. Yeah, Bat Mom, you are so right. A lot of us have been in your situation, meaning Melissa. It's so much work at just the thought of having to get away. If it wasn't for my ex getting arrested, I probably would still be with him or dead by his hand. Yeah, absolutely. Yep.
Next is Smoochie. Happy birthday,
Smoochie. We're going to give you a birthday reading just for this week. You wanted the human spirit. Moderation, yeah. I just, as a recovering addict and knowing how I would get when I was using a specific drug, I would just clean my house and pre-cook meals and watch TV. I was just very happy while I was doing it. I know a lot of people go crazy and they mix in this, but for me, I don't think the government, and I don't want to get into a big debate here, but I just don't think the government should be controlling anything that we put into our bodies. I believe if they have that much of a problem with it, they should just tax it like they did weed and let us move on with our lives. Are there puck wedgies in Dudleytown, Connecticut? I don't know, probably. Guys, please don't forget to donate. That is how I get paid. PayPal, Cash App, all of my members. Thank you guys so much for being members. That money does make a big difference. I believe I get that money with the pay that I get on the 21st of every month. Extra donations this month. On Fridays, when you donate to my PayPal or Cash App, it is my weekend money, so I can grab groceries and, take RJ to basketball and do all the things that I need to do. I'm hoping, that my books start selling a little better. I'm trying to do more promotion. I will be on Michigan UFO with Wayne and Michelle on the 23rd, Sunday, right? The 23rd? Yeah. All right, Miss Smoochie girl. Is it your birthday, Smoochie, today? I thought you were a January Aquarius.
Monday.
Hey, Heather.
She said Monday.
Okay. What's up, girl? Yeah, no problem. Better late than pregnant. That was my beer pong name for a very long time. That and prom night dumpster baby. All right. 04, card number 4. What goes around comes around, Smoochie girl. You got it in the shadow position. I know. Yeah. I thought I was so profound. Billy and I. Smoochie girl, ever heard of karma? What kind of energy have you been tossing out into the universe lately? Is it the best possible version of yourself that you want to show, or are you walking around putting out poppycock? I am sure you're saying to yourself, come on, we all have bad days, but even in those moments, we can make a conscious choice to send out a boomerang of what we hope to get back karmically. Remember, we're all in this together. We've heard that a lot recently, but the plain truth of it is we are all we have, all of us together. So you woke up on the wrong side of the bed. Do you wake up and go to your local coffee shop and sneer and mutter because they're out of oat milk? I don't drink oat milk, but I do tend to take it out on customer service workers. Do you take it out on the barista, for example? Remember, you just put that negative energy out into the universe and now may have made another person have a lousy morning. If you wake up on the wrong side of the bed, think of all the blessings you have or could receive today instead of spreading around your hogwash. Remember, what you put out into the universe may not come back today, but it will eventually make its way back to you at some point. Don't get stuck on a merry-go-round of malarkey. Send out some kindness, some love, and some peace. Multifaceted Jules. I don't understand you sometimes, but I feel you all the time. You know what I'm saying? All right, Smoochie. This isn't saying we have to walk around and, be happy-go-lucky, rah, all the time. I think you are stuck in a rut, okay? Yes, you use sarcasm as a shield to your emotions, and, everyone's like, oh, that's just smoochy, and we go along with it. But I feel like you are in the next couple of weeks going to really, hurt people. And I hate that phrase. It's so cliche, but it's true. I feel like you're not venting enough. You're not talking enough about what you're really feeling. You're guarding it with sarcasm and making jokes instead of talking to, look, I've told you this before, and I'm sorry if it sounds cruel. Just because someone is sick doesn't mean they have the right to bully or abuse you. Okay? It's just facts. You are allowed to stand up for yourself and not make it a joke. To stand in your power, Smoochie, and say, don't talk to me like that. I've started doing that recently, and it works for me. Because even though the other person couldn't possibly care less, they probably didn't want to talk to me in the first place because they didn't want to hear about their bad behavior. It makes me feel good that I'm the one who said, I'm not doing this. You are not going to talk to me that way. You have to start standing up for yourself with the people or the person who are being rude to you, being nasty to you, being some type of negative way towards you, instead of absorbing that, not standing up for yourself, and then you end up blowing up on someone who didn't do anything. I feel like in the next couple of weeks, you should, again, stand up for yourself, but also if you feel like you've been kind of aiming your negativity at one particular person, talk to them about it. I feel like this could be a good opportunity for you to honestly, and without the sarcasm, the joke making, like really truly talk about what you're dealing with and going through. You're holding it all in. And when we do that as human beings, we can only hold so much in before we blow up and explode. Smoochie, you're no exception. You're exceptional, but you're not an exception to the human race, right? You're human. But if you start taking it out on people randomly throughout the day, the universe is randomly going to smack you with some more karma. And the universe will beat that ass. Who's next?
Let's be careful, Bat Mom.
Yeah, Bat Mom, watch that because YouTube is very immature and they will demonetize me.
New England's next. Is he still here?
Third netter.
I don't want mine yet. Okay, then make sure you tell me when you're ready, okay? Go ahead and do Jules. Is she doing somebody with her?
Lucky 13 is with her, but Jules, I'm going to do you first. Jules, I'm using the Oracle of the Radiant Sun. Yeah, exactly, Blue. And again, I know the other person doesn't care. They're not like, wow, I shouldn't talk to her like that. But I feel good because I took my power back. I said, you're not going to talk to me like this. Or if you want to talk to me, you can lower your voice because I'm not yelling. Do you know what I mean? And it feels good. It doesn't matter how the other person receives it. It's the fact that I'm putting it out. And it feels amazing. No, it's okay. It's YouTube. It's YouTube. That's the problem. Black Dragon. All right, Julie girl, you got Mars in Sagittarius, the card of domination. Wait, what did I read wrong? Oh, that's Mercury. I was like, it doesn't say. Okay, so we do Mercury first. These cards are so hard for me to figure out. Mars. There we go. It is. We're all just human, spiritual beings having this human experience. Jules. Mars Sagittarians. So remember, your Mars doesn't have to be in Sagittarius. It very well could be in your birth chart, but this is the energy coming in for you in the next 2 weeks. Mars Sagittarians devote a great deal of energy to crusading and the conversion of others to their beliefs. Staunch defenders of the truth, they can be a little blunt in putting their case to others. Because of the excessive power in this planet sign combination, some sporting or adventurous activity benefits people with this aspect at every stage of life. Foreign travel could be a satisfactory outlet for pioneering energies, and it would be surprising if Mars Sagittarians did not spend some time abroad or with people from another country. Who has a December 2nd birthday in here? Active participation in some religious or philosophical cause is indicated by this card. Negatively, this can manifest as a narrow and limited view of life into which the Mars Sagittarian tries to shoehorn everyone, not a winning strategy in the popularity stakes. As long as Mars Sagittarians don't get too dogmatic and can maintain an it takes all sorts attitude, all is well. With Mars and Sagittarius, the competitive instinct is irrepressible, and the need to come out on top in any situation can become excessive. Chill and Charlie. Nick, why? Hi. Hold that thought. With Mars and Sagittarius, the competitive instinct is irrepressible, and the need to come out on top in any situation can be excessive. When this card is chosen in a reading, it can mean, depending on the questions asked, that either the questioner is being pressured by someone or is applying too much pressure to someone else. The domination card indicates the need to stand back and detach oneself in order to see the truth of a situation. An argument over ideals, persuading others by bullying, the start of an expedition, reckless optimism with regard to a long-term project, competitive sports. I feel like you're putting, Nick, it's so good to see you. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Happy Valentine's Day. Jules, I feel like you're putting too much pressure on yourself. You are being way too hard on yourself in a situation. So here's what you do. In whatever this situation is, no, I remember talking to someone and I was like, oh, December 2nd is your birthday. It's the same as Brittany. I love Brittany. And they're like, oh, yeah, crazy ass Brittany. And I was like, no, but I love her. So I was just talking about it recently with RJ because his favorite rapper is Juice WRLD, and Juice WRLD's birthday was also on the 2nd. But I was just remembering that conversation and couldn't remember who I had it with. Jules, you're putting way too much pressure on yourself to make something work. And you do have this optimism of like, yeah, like nothing can go wrong. Like we got this. I feel like this is a passing feeling though. So be really careful. Like don't just try to take a step back and see what advice you would give someone if they were in your shoes, right? So for example, someone you love more than life itself, your daughter. Say that your daughter was doing the same exact thing that you're doing. What advice would you give her? And then take that advice. That is the only way to give ourselves unbiased advice, is to pretend that it's a child or a parent or someone that we are very, very close and connected to, to give the advice that we would give them, we have to take. I do feel like there's an opportunity. Welcome back, Miss Pixie. I feel like there's an opportunity here too, Jules, in the coming months for you to invest in something. I know this may sound weird. It may not resonate yet, but like a shop, a business, selling, making something at home and selling it, something like that. Don't be too overzealous, because I feel like there are going to be unforeseen challenges, and you can definitely do it, but it's not going to be as quickly as you think. Somebody is definitely putting ideas into your head, telling you that you should do things, you should invest in things, you should become involved in things that you really need to think about. Don't let someone apply pressure to you if you're unsure. Even if you're unsure to like a millimeter of a degree, don't allow anyone to pressure you. I feel like somebody really wants something from you here, and they're really being very manipulative and sneaky about getting it, right? So, Jules, if it was your idea, take it slow and do it, because something might come up that you didn't expect and you weren't really prepared for, and you kind of maybe don't want to deal with. But there's something here. If it's not happening already, it is going to happen. I'm seeing someone like, this is how I see pressure. If someone's like pushing like they're trying to force you, they're forcing you to where you have no choice but to agree or go along with or say yes to whatever it is that they're trying to get you to do. Don't allow that to happen. You have allowed that to happen so much in your life. This person is very good though, I'll admit, because I'm seeing that like they really have you believing something that isn't true. I fear, my dear, you're being manipulated again. And it's not because there's anything wrong with you. You're just such you're such a bright light and such a special open spirit, like most of us in here are, if not all of us, and people are drawn to take advantage of that. Jules, don't let anyone live in your home or stay in your home. Don't lend anybody money. Don't invest in anyone's wackadoo ideas. You can believe in someone and you can help someone without personally being involved, right? You can do that from afar. Let them call you to vent. Let them run ideas by you. You don't have to put energy into anything someone else is doing. All right? Please stand your ground here, because I see you like nothing but like losing energy, losing spirit, losing heart, losing money, losing patience, like blah, 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 blah. Don't be preyed upon. Yes, Batmom. Black Dragon, thank you so much. Don't forget, guys, February 28th, we are going to be celebrating my birthday here in stream. My birthday is March 1st, but we're going to be celebrating on the 28th because that's the Friday. All right. Lucky 13. Thank you, Chillin' Charlie. Let me pick the deck. Let's do Fairy Forest. Guys, don't forget $2 to PayPal or Cash App for your readings. Once you're paid, if you're not a member, just put the $sign in the chat so I know. If you're a member, you don't have to worry about it. Batmom, I agree, but sometimes, you know, it's like it's a lesson that our soul came here to learn. So, like, I've been in nothing but abusive relationships. One relationship I had wasn't abusive or manipulative in any way, but we were both high all the time, right? Every other relationship, even if I wasn't being physically abused, I was being cheated on, manipulated, lied to. They were taking my money. I was supporting them. You know, and I feel like that's not because I'm a stupid person. It's because I came here to learn the lesson that I finally learned at 38. And you know what that is? That I'm someone. I have self-worth. I know what I bring to the table. And now I know what I will and won't accept. And I know that it's okay to say, you're not treating me right, and I'm not going to put up with that. I was so desperate for love my whole life. Nick can attest to this. How many arguments did we get into, Nick, where like I didn't even remember them the next day? I'd wake up being all happy and he'd be like storming around the house and I would be like, what's the problem? And he'd be like, you have no idea what you said to me last night. And I'm like, no, I thought we had fun. You know, I was drowning. Yeah, Chillin' Charlie, I'm excited, even though I'm getting old. Carly, thank you so much. You are so sweet. Dan Aykroyd said Deadly Town. I believe Dan Aykroyd because he's super involved. All right, Lucky 13, we're using Fairy Forest. I finally did. And Batmom, you know, I think this was like an across lifetimes lesson. I really do think I came here and that was one of my main missions was to learn this. Because one of my other paths I've learned since it happened was I could have died in addiction or I could have spent my whole life in addiction. Like one of my exit points was my addiction. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, he said facts. Okay, Lucky 13, Miss Julie Girl's friend, got the Sigil Keeper, symbols, signs, and messages. When the Sigil Keeper comes to you, there will be no words. Instead, there will be shapes and signs and messages flowing as though a language of symbols is being shared with you. When she comes, you are being encouraged to participate in the process by creating and shaping your own magical symbols and beginning to consciously choose the symbolic language that you are creating and connecting with every single day. Life with Bobby, maybe that'll come up in your reading, the making and selling of things. Lucky 13, you may wish to find a symbol at this time that represents you and the part of your journey that you are exploring at present. You may wish to look around your home and see what quote-unquote hidden symbols have worked their way into your life. And you may wish to rearrange these, remove some, replace others with symbols that are consciously chosen to be of greatest magical support to you at this time. Look at your clothing, what you wear, and see the symbolic nature of this. And go through your jewelry. Consider carefully the energy of its symbols and whether you wish to connect with it. You have to choose carefully now what symbols you keep around you, for they have shaped you more than you have ever truly considered. Okay, so what Life with Bobby, we're the same age, girl. Yeah. Yeah, me too. I think it's like about that time. Lucky 13, I feel like you're under some kind of psychic attack, to be honest. The signs and symbols and synchronicities, those are a separate thing. I'm seeing that you're under some kind of psychic attack. I don't know if it's by somebody or possibly like an attached entity. I would get some white sage, any kind of sage really, and just kind of go over yourself, say the Lord's Prayer. If you're not religious, just say anything out of like it. You got to find something. You can look up things to say on Google. Believe it or not, it does work. Just something to get that off of you. You are very unaligned right now, but I feel like your guides are leading you towards where you need to be. Things like constantly seeing the number 111, like on license plates, on the clock, the universe is showing you the way, but I feel like for some reason you're not seeing it. And that's where I feel like this psychic attack's coming in, like keeping you caught in this cycle of something, cycle of abuse, cycle of addiction, cycle of, something very negative that you keep pulling away from, but then ending up right back to. It could even be something that you're doing, like, manipulating people, right? Like you want to stop doing that and be a better person. I'm not saying that's what you're doing. I'm just using it as an example. Jules will tell you I use silly examples. They're called Gemma examples. You have it in you that you want to move away from this, but it's like you feel stuck, like maybe you can't or you don't know how. The universe, your team, your guides are pulling you away using signs and symbols, placing people purposely in different areas of your life to kind of pull you out of whatever this is. I would do a cleansing on my home and myself. If I were you. Okay. Sorry, I was reading the chat for a second. Don't be, just like I said to Jules, like don't be manipulated. But for you, I also want to say, and I don't mean this in a bad way. I don't think you're a bad person. Don't be manipulative of people. If you're involved in something that you feel uncomfortable with, don't go along with it. If there are consequences to not going along with something, then you're going to have to kind of take them. Thank you, Nick, because you are meant for so much more than what you've been through. The energy that's been put on you. You have bad juju on you. I don't know what happened here. If you were ever involved with a witch or somebody who, I don't know, you have a bad energy swirling around you. And the way to get out of that, if you pray, that's definitely a great way. Ask Jesus or whoever you pray to remove it. If you don't, that's okay. Don't be offended. Just hang around with higher vibrational people like Jules. Jules's energy will help you tremendously to get out of that, but don't take too much from her. Find a balance. Miss Pixie, you are so sweet. Thank you so much for that. You don't have to do that. But I do appreciate you. Everybody who donates anything, I appreciate it. So Lucky 13, what I would recommend again is being around higher vibrational people. There are a lot of people in your life, whether they're actually in it or just surrounding you, about to come in, coming back from the past, people that you've tried to get away from, bad energy, lower vibrational energy, just this ick. Like I just want to, like, it gives me the ick. Don't allow it to touch you anymore. Put your foot down, stand your ground, step into your power, okay? I will caution you not to feed too much off Jules's energy. She is a very open soul, and she can inadvertently and accidentally overwhelm you with her positive energy, and then she's zapped and she's struggling and you're fine. So, make sure whenever you're around her, there's an equal give and take. I know this sounds weird, but Jules, I hope that you know me well enough to know what I'm talking about here. Who's next?
Next.
You have a dog?
Miss Pixie.
Well, Nick, if you have to leave for any reason, let me know and I'll read for you and get you in. Miss Pixie, I'm going to use the Halloween Oracle. I love Jules. This is my sweetheart. Nah. Did you watch the Super Bowl? I know how much you love rap music. How's Tasha? How amazing was it? I will never forget, for as much of that night as I did forget, that we got to watch the Steelers win the Super Bowl in a Steelers-themed bar that served Steelers-themed drinks while Bruce Springsteen did the halftime show. I was in heaven. He doesn't have the I'm going to poop on your floor look in his eyes yet. Any of you guys ever listen to Morrissey? I've heard a song or two. If you name some popular songs, I'm sure I've heard them because I know my sister used to listen to them. There's one song from them, particularly, that I know. Jules, I am going to call you tomorrow. We need to talk. But if you can do me a favor, text me and be like, hey, what are you up to? And then I'll remember I'm supposed to call you because I'm never going to remember otherwise. It's not you. It's just who I am as a human. But we need to talk. I don't like something I'm seeing, and I don't want to publicly state it. It's kind of like with Netter. I still have to talk to him about a few things. I just didn't get the chance. We had days off, half days, delayed openings because of the weather. We need to have a conversation. Message me towards like mid-afternoon, like 3, 4 o'clock. All right, Miss Pixie, you got Lady de los Muertos, acceptance and equality. Pale you step out of the night, in red lace full flowers upon your crown, you bring the beauty to death, the equality and joy of the underground. Oh, really? Only good things, I hope. The iconic Lady of Death with a pale skull-like face, zombie eyes, and rich red funeral flowers in her hair has become one of the most recognizable symbols of Halloween and the Mexican Day of the Dead, El Dia de los Muertos. The original model for this flamboyant Lady of Death can be traced back to the ancient Aztec goddess Metecatl. As time went on, the figure remained balanced between beauty and horror and morphed into the Lady of the Dead and eventually into the more modern graphic figure of Katrina. It is also reported that the identity of the original Katrina was based on women who were very rich and had everything they wanted in this life. Yet, death takes everyone equally, so it was a reminder that no matter how beautiful, rich, popular, or famous you were, in the end, death takes everyone. The Mexican culture has a long-standing history of laughing at death and seeing it as just another aspect of life. In some ways, death is the last taboo in many Western cultures. We tend to hide away our dying, and some of us may never even see the body of someone who has passed in our whole lives. But this was a much more common occurrence in the past. Acknowledging that death is a natural process that will enter everyone's life at some time, and that perhaps until then we can choose to be life-affirming, takes away much of the fear. Take a light approach to a situation initially, and it may work out better. If you're holding on to something that doesn't serve you any longer, in particular, something material, simplify and let it go. Oh, I see. I see. Okay. All right. So, okay. Miss Pixie, this isn't talking about, I mean, it is talking about physical death, obviously, but in your case, it's talking about change. It's like you're holding on to something for dear life, even though it's not even really making you happy. It really doesn't do anything for you. It's just kind of like you're comfortable in whatever this is. It's not a romantic relationship, right? It's like an idea of something, or like maybe something you've always wanted to do. And now that you're maybe able to do it, you don't have the same passion for it. This is the universe telling you, no matter what, major change is coming. You may see it coming. You are psychic, but I know we're not usually psychic about ourselves, unfortunately. There is a major, major, major shift coming into your life. And I feel like for some reason, your energy and your spirit is like fighting it. But your physicality, your material mind isn't even aware of it. This is strange. I don't usually see things like this. It's like your psychic self is trying to block this change from happening, but physically you're just wandering the earth, not even aware that that changes in the air. I feel like in the next 2 weeks through to like the next month or so, you're going to start really understanding why you've gone through some of the things you have very recently, some of the struggles you've had, particularly mentally, you know, kind of should I stay or should I go type of energy. And it's going to put you in the direction of like where you seriously were meant to be. I feel like it's going to be a shock to you because the information that's coming in is something brand new or new to you, right? So I'm just going to use a silly example. Let's say you always wanted to be an artist. That was your life dream and you gave it up to raise a family, right? Just an example. Now that you have an empty nest, you're like, I have all my art supplies. I have plenty of money to be able to do this. I'm going to do it. And then you go to do it and you're like, I don't want to do this anymore. So now you got to find something else to focus your energy towards. And that's very confusing because you always wanted to do this your whole life. Now the chance is here. That's the kind of energy that I'm getting. It's like you have so many different directions that you could go in, that you want to go in. For me, it's this constant struggle of, I want to be known so badly. I can't possibly work anymore for free, but I got to keep pushing on. But how much longer do I do this before I'm a failure? Right? Like that kind of struggle. I feel like there's something you want. You've been very nervous about taking a chance or a risk on it. And with it, you've been stalling. You've been kind of stuttering into it, blocking the energy of it consciously even. And now something's going to change drastically and dramatically that is going to push you right towards what you've been avoiding, but it's going to be the best possible thing for you. I know this may not make a ton of sense, but I promise you in the next 2 to 4 weeks, it definitely will. And once you start focusing on just an example, I want to start a YouTube channel. That's going to be like, whoa, where did that come from? But it's going to be like the best idea in the world. And you're going to actually do it because whatever this is what you were meant to do. You are finding who you were meant to be. And that's exciting and terrifying. Miss Carly, is Carly next? You are an artist. Yeah. Yeah, it is a struggle because like I said, I think it was a week or two ago, my mentor's like, it's okay to admit you failed. And I'm thinking, did I fail though? Like, I'm definitely not where I thought I'd be. I thought I'd have 25,000 subscribers by now and I'd be making pretty good money, like at least survivable income. But what's the time limit on a YouTube channel, right? Like, there is none. So what am I judging my standards on? And I think that's why I decided to keep going, because it's like, there's no time frame for this. So what if it takes 10 years? I'm building slowly. Carly's next, you said? Carly, we're going to use aether creatures. I have a caffeine headache, and that never happens to me. Never happens to me. I overdid it today. Miss Pixie, it's coming though. Something I think that you really, you may have considered it a little bit, but I feel like once the idea is there, once the opportunity is there, you're going to be like, well, I'll try this. And then it turns out like this is what you were meant for. Oh, Nick, don't I know it? Carly, you got a Capote, and that is card number 71. You got it in the reverse position. Welcome back, by the way. Thank you for coming back. And it goes, don't get me started. I never get caffeine headaches, but I have one right now. A little one. It's not overwhelming or anything. All right. Carly, if the Capote, oh, that's right side up. If the Capote appears in reverse, you're slipping into the same old story. This story is not only inaccurate, it also doesn't serve you. In this situation, the narrative that you're hearing in your head or telling others is very outdated. You're believing that a condition or situation hasn't changed when it definitely has. You would benefit from changing the story. This could mean seeing how a condition or situation has actually changed, or it could mean reframing or reconstructing your idea of what has happened in the past, what you're perceiving in the present, and what you're imagining for the future. It's time for your story about the past, present, and or future, including your story of self, to evolve. Capote in reverse teaches you that when you change the meaning and narrative of the past, that changes the narrative and meaning of your present and future. Carly, let your stories evolve. Capote loves to come in reverse to those who are telling an old story and claiming that they're a certain way when in fact they have changed a lot, a great deal, or when the meaning someone has assigned to an experience isn't accurate. When the capote comes in reverse, realize that your stories are far from objective. Ask yourself, is this story I'm telling myself and or others serving me? Is this the story I want to tell? In the situation at hand, how do I shift what was formerly seen as something negative into something positive? What was or is the gain in which I have experienced? So, Carly, this is actually a very simple message. What are the lessons you have learned from the hurts and pains and struggles and sacrifices that you've been through and that you've made? It's time to, hey, what's up, Jarvis? To show the universe that you've learned the lessons, right? So, for example, just say you've been through a lot of physical abuse. Instead of walking around talking about the abuse you suffered, you can talk about how much you've grown, right? How much you've learned from that. The universe is waiting for you to tell a different story. You know, you have been stuck in a cycle of something. Yeah, there's something here that, like, no matter, it's like that song that every time I try to leave, something keeps pulling me back. It's like you're being like guilted, manipulated, gaslighted, like into like believing that, don't worry, like this is perfectly normal, this is okay, you know, don't look behind the curtain. And you've gone through so much in your life, and particularly with this situation, that you have every right to rip that curtain down and see what's going on. And I feel like, you know, your instinct is telling you that something is wrong. It's like red flag, bright, but you don't want to come out and tell the person, like, I know what you're doing, I know who you are, because you don't have tangible evidence. I'm seeing this eggshell fear. And eggshell fear for me is, like, for example, you know your significant other's cheating, but you don't have a photo evidence. You don't have the person's name. You literally just know, right? You just know something is wrong in a situation. But if you bring it to the person or the people that are involved, they're going to say you're crazy. You know, where's your proof? Prove it. The fact of the matter is, you only have to prove things to yourself. Keep cutting people off. That's good to know, because do not let people back in. There's someone coming in and I just see them like this, you know, I'm so amazing. Like, she's definitely going to let me back in, and much to move on from a situation that I know. Yeah. And it's hard to move on from situations when there's people or a person who don't want to let you, especially when you're a light worker, especially when you're an empath, because, you know, you want to people please. You want people to be happy. You want this person to be happy regardless of how they've treated you. But the fact of the matter is, you've got to get away for yourself and your sanity. Start talking about how strong you've become, the lessons you've learned, not the pain you've been through. And it's not that it's not okay for you to talk about the pain that you've endured, but it's better to talk about the lessons you learned through the pain, because that puts a positive spin on it and sends positivity out into the universe, instead of talking about the lower vibrational stuff that's all negative. I hope this makes sense. Do not let anyone from the past weasel their way back in ever, but in the next 2 weeks specifically.
Next,
I need a candy, guys. I've got, hold on 1 second, please. I need a candy, and I don't want a blue one because it'll make my teeth look green. All right. I'm sorry. Who's next?
Heather B.
Yeah, you know, Carly, it's because you've outgrown it. You have outgrown the situation, and the person still wants to maintain the control. And I'm sorry, but no. You know, no. You've given enough to this. I don't feel like you should even be giving any mental energy anymore. Like, this person does not deserve it, and you deserve better. The problem is, like, whether it doesn't even have to be that there's a good guy or a bad guy. The fact is, you are vibrating higher. It doesn't mean you're better and they're worse, even though you probably are. I'm just saying. It means that you're no longer seeing eye to eye. You're not on the same energetic level, and you never will be again unless you lower yourself back down, which you should never, ever do for anyone. You've worked hard to be where you are. Heather, I got you. Give me 1 second. My sugar is really low. I feel faint. All right. I'm using Deep, Dark, and Dangerous, Heather. I'm going to watch it. Jarvis, where can I watch that again? I know you told me, but I forgot. Is it Netflix? The new X-Files? Yes, Carly, you are. And keep telling yourself that and keep doing it. You definitely are, or you wouldn't be in here. And that's not anything positive. I'm not, nothing to say about me. It's that the people in here come in here week after week and evolve. And if you're not evolved, you won't last in here. People come and like hate the energy in here. It's because it aggravates their demons. They're not vibrating high enough to be in here. Andrew, exactly. It takes time, Carly, but you can do it. I believe in you. I got your back, girl. Keep coming back. I'm telling you. All right, Heather B, write this time down in case she had to leave. And in 2012, our timeline basically blew up and we all switched. Smoochie, yes, you do. You are our crazy drunk aunt. And I mean that in the most loving way possible. You're just like, oh, that's Aunt Smoochie. Or that's my sister Smoochie. This is one of the cards I pulled for myself today. I used Dark Goddess and Deep, Dark, and Dangerous. So we're dealing with the same BS. You got card number 1, Deep, the card of Depth, or the Shadow card. This card doesn't come up often. I'm surprised it came out twice today. Seek balance. You are not complete if you ignore the more hidden parts of yourself. Have compassion and curiosity about your shadow side. Be curious about all the parts of you, Heather. Ignore your shadow side at your own peril. Make friends with your shadow as it has much to teach you. I am part of you. Ignore me at your peril. I could be the making of you, yet I'm seen as a devil. The light shines hard upon us, and a shadow we cast, not to be ignored, but explored till the last. The psychoanalyst Carl Jung introduced the modern concept of shadow, it might be Jung, to refer to the hidden or repressed aspect of ourselves. Often we deny these parts instead of integrating them because they shame us or make us seem less perfect. The less we acknowledge and integrate these shadow parts, the worse our lives will become. Unconscious patterns are made conscious by purposefully seeking them out and observing how they play out in our everyday lives. After all, unless we know something is there, how can we fix it? To make friends with the hidden part of ourselves that we often repress or are afraid to reveal makes us whole. We see the true self and not just the bits that others can see. By choosing to see the depth of ourselves, warts and all, we can perhaps experience a richer, more divinely led life. Seeking depth enables us to see more, be more, love more, and have more. Your plant companion is mandrake, and your crystal companion, this is crazy, is black obsidian, which we were just talking about. Nick, it definitely does. At least for some people. All right, so Heather. I'm sorry, guys, my sugar's low. There's something here that the universe is asking you to be accountable for. This doesn't mean, yes, Smoochie does. This doesn't mean you have to be accountable to anyone. This isn't an apology ode to anyone except you. It's like you have to come to terms with some things you've done, some things you've said that you know weren't right. You know were wrong, right? The old you before you went on this beautiful spiritual journey, which you did completely and totally by accident, right? But now you're here and you're experiencing all these wonderful things on top of all the negatives. And this is you being accountable to yourself. And I've talked about this briefly with a couple other people. I've had to do it too. So this is really important, okay? I know it sounds silly. Talk to old Heather. Talk to the Heather that made so many mistakes, the same mistakes over and over, the girl and woman that you used to be, and say goodbye to her. Say you're sorry to her. Let her go with love, peace, dignity, without judgment, with respect, but let her go. You are no longer responsible for the things you did 10 years ago. Okay? I feel like someone is or is about to start pulling things out of thin air to try to keep control of you. And because you still have guilt or shame about some of these things that you've done, what's up, Netslap? It's like it's going to work. you are going to feel bad and you're going to be apologizing or at least, taking that energy on. And you don't deserve that. Everybody's made mistakes. Don't let someone use your past against you. Make peace with it so that when they bring it up, like a certain person likes to remind me about my addiction and where I come from. Okay. And I literally mean that. It does not bother me because I've made peace with it and because I've bettered myself. And that's what you're doing. This person or these people, I think it is one person specifically, they don't like that you're bettering yourself because they're not doing it themselves. They're jealous. They're angry. They're losing control. In the next couple of weeks, have a chat with yourself. Make peace with your past. All the things you've done, you've got to forgive yourself. Truly forgive yourself to the point where when someone brings it up, you don't cringe. All right? Make sure, because somebody's going to be whipping it around and throwing it right into your face. And I feel like they're going to dig real deep and try to hit you where it hurts. Even if it does affect you, don't let them see that it does. Just whatever, and deal with it internally. Okay? Do not let someone manipulate you by using your past and holding it over your head. I feel like this is going to be the final straw. I feel like once this person says or does this, it's just like, now there's like no possible way for you to get through it with them. They're going to be dead to you. Whether you still have to live with them, work with them, be around them, this is the last straw for them. So I hope they do bring it up, and I hope they do it soon so you can finally make peace with them no longer being relevant. Blue, what happened? I thought you got a special surprise in the parking lot from a little girl. Who's next?
New England. Netter.
Mr. Netter. I'm going to use wisdom of the House of Night.
He said he wanted to be up, so I hope he's here listening.
Yeah, he's good. You have to remember, Heather, and the saying, these people know what buttons to push. Flip the script and don't let it get to you. I've told you guys, I've been very open and honest. I've done some horrible things, Heather, you are beautiful and amazing. I love that I've met you in real life. I love that you're here supporting me. And, I root for you. I pray for you. I root for you. You definitely got this. You have I am a strong, badass woman energy. Very big. And I just love it. It's so attractive. But you said you got hit where it hurts. What does that mean? All right, New England Dirt Roadie, we're using Wisdom of the House of Night. I'm sorry about the candy eating. I'm going to hate myself for it when I review this, but I feel like I'm going to fall off my chair. Steven, while I'm eating, if you could talk so there's not dead air, please. Thank you, Jules.
I don't get paid for that. Hello. Okay, so next will be Nick after Nutter. Then Nick. Then Nut Slap. Then Black Dragon. Then anybody that you pick. And then you're in timestamps already.
Smoochie, if you're asking me, yeah. Jules, thank you. Okay. Netter, you got the card of strength. Maybe. But believe it or not, I do keep the Fun Dip because it does help. So that's why I wonder if it's really my sugar. Because when I eat the Fun Dip, which is all sugar, I feel better. Nut Slap. I had a lot of fun playing Fortnite earlier. It's funny playing Fortnite with Netter because he had no idea what he's doing. He just follows Steven and I. Miss Pixie, oh, I have a whole pack of Fun Dip too. So we'll like jump. We'll be like, okay, we're jumping now, and you got to jump out of the bus and land where you want to land to like loot and get your weapons and stuff. Next thing we know, we're like, where's Nutslap? Oh, he's all the way across the map. He has no idea how he got there. Black Dragon, thank you so much. That's for anyone who needs a reading. All right. Netter, thank you for your patience. Oh, I haven't had Pixie Sticks in a long time. Sometimes life will present you with challenges that you think are too difficult to endure. Does it seem like nothing goes your way and that everyone else appears to be having a good time? Be strong, my dear. Drawing this symbol means that no matter what's happening in your life, you have the strength to endure all experiences. Like an ancient oak whose trunk cannot be uprooted by the mightiest storm, you will know a strength that comes from within. You will win this game of life. You have the strength to face any situation now. So, Netter, this is basically about you, not wallowing and believing that there is something more. I feel like you have given up. We didn't really have a conversation when we had lunch. I just basically talked your ear off while you ate. But it was still cool, But I saw it in your energy that you're just like very lost. And that's for a reason, right? I told you I wanted to talk to you, and I know you've been waiting. I just, like I said, I don't think RJ had more than one full day of school this week, and now he has off Monday too. There's a reason you feel that way. You have disconnected from the roots of evil you were connected to in Colorado. They drained everything. You had like lower vibrational dead attachment for 20 some almost 30 years on you. That's a lot of energetic loss. Netter, I feel like you definitely are losing some pieces of your soul, or you've lost them. It's okay because, right, you can do some Reiki, we can do sound healing. I'm willing to help you. I don't have much time, but especially since I can see you face to face, it'll be so much easier and better for me to be able to help you build this back up. But you have to want it. You cannot give up. You have just given up on life and happiness and love, and you were meant for so much more. I'm getting emotional. Like I say this as your friend. I really do worry about and care for you. If you think that nobody cares for you, I really do. And if you think that I couldn't possibly, because I don't really know you, think again. I'm an intuitive. Like I do know who you are. But you have to believe that there's more to life than what there is, or than what you're seeing. You have the strength to do it. In the next couple of weeks. Good night, Miss Pixie. Love you. Hey, Cindy. In the next couple of weeks, I would definitely say you need to really, really try to wake up in the morning and just say out loud, this is going to be an amazing day, whether you believe it or not. All right. And I'm going to get you a manifestation intention book, and you're going to write in it. And I'm going to check in with you every week to make sure that you wrote in it. We are going to get you, I swear, I'm going to be on that ass. Excuse my language. And I'm going to help you. Because you were meant for so much more. You're a good-looking guy. You're smart. You're funny, right? And you have a beautiful heart. You really do have this beautiful energy around you. And when I met you the first time, your energy was literally running from your body. That's really bad. I give up. But I'm going to help you with the manifesting and the intending, putting intentions out there, being more positive, changing the I, changing the why, changing the way that you speak, the way that you joke about and with yourself and others, the way you communicate and interact. And we're going to get you back on the line. Baby Dragon, I'm sorry. Only my parents and my kids have get through my block. So I do need to check this. It could be an emergency. 14 messages. Happy Valentine's Day, beautiful lady. I'm streaming, but I stopped so that I can tell you that I love you and you're beautiful. I do have a little gift for you if I ever see you again. I'll message you after my stream. That was my girl, Donna. Oh, it's the moms. Aw. He said, you're more beautiful every day. Well, thank you. I have such sweet friends. Oh, did you guys know that today is YouTube's 20th birthday? That's so awesome. I'm live streaming right now. Everyone's watching me answer my text messages. All right. Sorry. That was my friend May. All right. I thought it was an emergency situation. Netter, I got you. Oh, Nutslap, don't worry. I won't. Can you please talk? Dude. Ghost. Can you not hear me?
Sorry, I was reading chat. I'm sorry.
I asked you to talk while I was eating, so there wasn't dead air.
What was that?
All right, who's next?
Man, I just got some weird static on my end.
You put that sugar on my tongue, yippee, yippee, yum, yum, goody, goody,
Nick
gum,
Wise
got her in his tongue lock, did it till my body went numb, numb, later on her back, turn around, gave her bottom a smack. She's he left. He's like, I can't anymore. No, I hate candy hearts. I'm eating Fun Dip. Nick. No, don't let your dog do that. Bad, poorly trained mutt. Get him. Smack him. I'm just kidding, guys. Remember, I'm an animal hater. All right, Nick. Tricky Nicky, what are we going to use for you? Let's do Alice in Wonderland. It's a tree, honey. It's an oak. I know the lighting's bad. It's an oak tree. I'm going to send you, I need your new address. I want to send you a book. A manifestation book. I just hate the dead air. Not because of you guys. I know you guys are fine. You understand that I'm a little loopy and whatever. But like people that come in, they don't want to hear silence. They piss and moan to me all the time about it. Why am I shuffling this deck? Oh, for sure. Someone's had too much sugar. Sugar on my tongue. Oh, his nude pictures. It's just a joke. Earlier today, I was playing Fortnite with Nutslap and Ghost, and I was like, guys, I got a sexy picture for you guys. Don't show anybody. And you guys are going to be shocked that I'm showing this publicly, but you've got to see how amazing. Guess who's your Valentine? All right. Nick. Dream the dream that no mortal should ever dream. I love it. We are but mere mortals, some of us. Some of us are mostly mortal. I think a lot of us in here have oh, Smoochy, I'm going to be 42 years old. I'm way beyond that.
I'll be right back.
All right, sweetie. He's having spiritual issues over there. He don't want to say nothing. Nick, you got follow your own good advice. Jules, I love you. Trust yourself. You know what's best for you. And you got it in the reverse. Really? You don't hear? It happens every once in a while. Like when I get up to go to the bathroom, he forgets that like he's also a host. So because when the thing is, when he talks, even if it's just for 1 second and interrupts me, most of the time actually, I'll immediately the connection snaps. So then I have to pull the energy back up and pull them back in. And it's not easy for me to do while also talking. So that's why he never talks. It's not because like I'm mean or because like I want like all eyes on me. It's because he will snap the connection and then I'll have to build it back up again. And it takes a lot of energy. And I could get sick. So it's actually a pretty serious reason why Stephen doesn't talk during this stream. All right, Nick, I'm not surprised at this one. Come, there's no use in crying like that, said Alice to herself rather sharply. I advise you to leave off this minute. She generally gave herself very good advice, though she very seldom followed it. There are times when we become overwhelmed and begin to feel as if there would be nothing better at all than to collapse, cry, and to turn in on ourselves, particularly if we have made an error of judgment. This is understandable, and we must be permitted to express who we are and how we feel. However, once Alice has cried about a seemingly unsolvable situation, about forgetting something very important, she tells herself that continuing to cry will have no use. This stern command to her emotions brings her back to a place where she can contemplate what is best done. Anytime you make an error, Nick, it can be helpful to grieve a little for the difficulty you've created. But once you've done this, continuing with the sadness serves no real purpose. And Heather, if you're still listening, I don't know, but I'd love to know her secret. Heather, if you're still listening, that also is for you. I'm going to read it one more time. Anytime you make an error, it can be helpful to grieve a little for the difficulty you've created. But once you've done this, continuing with the sadness serves no real purpose. Nutslap, you're next, hon. It's best to follow Alice's example. Cry, then stop, and follow your own good advice and your own good sense. Receiving this card means you know what you need to do. You need to clear ground and center yourself so you can contemplate what to do next. This card also says that you do know what's best for you and often give yourself excellent advice, but you don't often follow it. You're being gently advised to settle yourself emotionally, to think through a problem, to stop admonishing yourself, and to follow your good advice to yourself. Perhaps treating yourself like a close friend or a dear child. Guys, I give this advice all the time, do I not? Take yourself out of the situation, Nick. Whatever it is, and if there's several, it doesn't matter. What advice would you give Natasha if she were in the same boat you're in? And then you take that advice. It's so much easier to follow unbiased advice and to listen to unbiased opinions, right? You can easily see advice for like Natasha in any situation as her father, with as close as you two are, right? You guys are like besties, always have been. I didn't appreciate that for what it was 15 years ago, 20 years ago, but I do now. So whatever advice you'd give her in this situation, you have to take it. Otherwise, you're going to stay trapped in this cycle of poop. Oh, I said poop. Hold on. Okay. Perhaps treating yourself like a close friend or a dear child will help you to move calmly forward without criticizing yourself too harshly for the situation you currently find yourself in. You can change this if you follow your good sense. Nick, a refusal to listen to yourself, making the same mistakes over and over, feeling that if you become emotional, others will step in to rescue you, thinking that all is doom and gloom, becoming bogged down emotionally and unable to think clearly. You know what that just reminded me of when it said rescue you? Do you remember when we were having the family reunion and my sister's ceiling caved in and Ricky was on the toilet and he was like, rah! And he fell down while on the toilet and the ceiling smashed into everything. And I didn't know what to do. So I just called you. And you're like, did you call like the police? I'm like, no, just you. Oh, we had fun. Okay, so what this is actually saying, Nick, is that you know exactly what you have to do, what you should do. That was hilarious. Christy was still eating the buffalo chicken dip with like pieces of ceiling in it. She was eating. It was gross. And you know, like the best course of action here, like, you know, sorry, what's right or wrong, right? But the problem is like, you're not, it's like, you don't want to believe it. You're not taking your own advice. You're not doing what you know you're supposed to do because I think you're just hoping that the situation is going to change. you're hoping that this time it's going to be different, and your instinct and your intuition, like you're just thinking that you're thinking that like it's not your instinct and intuition talking to you. You're feeling like, well, it's because of what I went through in the past that I don't trust this. And in actuality, you don't trust it because you know that it's not going to work out. You know it's a bad decision. I don't know what this is. I haven't talked to you in years, but there is at least one situation, and there might be more, that it's like you're doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. And while when we're young and can be stupid, that's determination. When we're older, that's just insanity and stupidity. And I'm not saying you're stupid. You're a very smart guy. But one, when it comes to women, you can be pretty dumb. And two, you have to stand in your power and not be afraid to hurt someone's feelings, because it's just calling them out on their bad behavior, right? Telling someone, I know you're manipulating me, if that hurts their feelings, that's their problem, because they're being a manipulator. Do you understand? You're just calling a spade a spade. Stop being so afraid about hurting other people's feelings. Worry about protecting your own energy and your own feelings. And the more you do that, the more good, positive energy and people will come in. And the bad, the negative, the manipulators, the liars, the cheaters, beaters, overeaters, they'll slowly wean their way out, Nick, once you get into your power of telling people like, nope, sorry, I'm not going to allow you to talk to me like that. Not going to allow you to treat me like that. If you go on a first date and something seems weird, like leaving. Not continuing to date the person because you don't want to hurt their feelings. What about your feelings? Come on, you got this. That's awesome, Smoochie. I love that for you. Do good things and good things happen to you. It works for me. Yeah, when I really think about it, I've got one really pretty horrible situation going on, but the rest of my life, I'm happy. Who's next?
You just said not before you started that. Nut slap.
Nut slap. Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Are you sure? Is there something really going on? Is there something going on?
Yeah, but I can deal with it.
Okay, because I feel like your screen keeps kind of blinking, and you went from happy-go-lucky to like...
I'm still in good mood. It's just
very somber.
It's all good. We're good.
Nick,
don't. I won't get yelled at again, so...
No, the dead air is not good. And I just feel like I was explaining to them, I don't know if you heard, that you're so used to not talking, but I explained the reason why. So like, I understand why you don't think to like start talking, because I've kind of gotten you to the point where like, don't talk because you could F things up. But if there's dead air, I'm eating, going to the bathroom, something. If I'm not talking and there's dead air,
I was just reading. I wasn't paying attention. That was a lot.
It's okay. I'm not mad with you.
And no, I'm never okay. Am I?
I'm the one that's going to get the comments about, eating on air and taking phone call, and it's just like, F off. Like, don't watch me then. If I'm that annoying, don't watch me. All right.
All good. Nut slap and then
nut slap. Yeah, go ahead.
1 second. I'm sorry. Nut slap then Black Dragon. Then it's timestamps.
All right, cool. Bad things do happen to good people, and this says, I believe it's all a test. It's how you respond and the lessons you learn. Absolutely. We put those bad things into our chart for a reason, to learn. I didn't want to go through all the abuse that I've suffered in my life or the addiction, but I've learned so much from it. I would not be the person I am today, and I love the person I am. I really do. I love a lot of things about me, and I'm cognizant of the things that aren't so great that I need to change. If I make a mistake or do something that hurts somebody, I'm the first person to say, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do that. Even with people who never apologize to me. And I have one person in my life that whenever I say like, oh gosh, I'm sorry, they'll turn around and say, well, you should be sorry. And then lecture me about why I should be sorry, even though I already know, like I didn't mean to. But I still do it because I'm trying to teach my son too. It's about how we act and react to people. They're going to be held accountable for how they act and react to us, right? So if you scream in my face and I hate you, I'm going to be accountable for my action. But if I turn the other cheek and walk away, you know, there's no accountability there because I didn't act in, you know, a bad manner. All right, nut slap, liminal spirits. Besides Black Dragon, is there anyone that didn't get a reading that wants one because Black Dragon did pay? Did we read Batmom? Because Black Dragon paid for her. Okay, so now we'll add her and then we'll do nut slap, Batmom, Black Dragon.
Sounds good.
All right, thanks, babe. Oh, look, we were just talking about Heather's plant companion was the mandrake. Nutslap, you got the mandrake. Here's your nude photo. Back in Bible days, and I'm not talking about religion, so let's not bring that up. But back in the Bible days, Life with Bobby too. Cindy Norris as well. Ghost, are you listening to me? Because we missed a couple people. Life with Bobby, Cindy Norris. Because Black Dragon.
Is Cindy still here?
Mama Cindy, let us know if you're still here. So back in Bible days, the mandrakes. So there were these two women, and one of them was in love. Rachel, Leah was in love with the guy, but the mother switched Rachel out. The sister, she switched Rachel out. So when the guy thought he was sleeping with Leah, he was sleeping with Rachel. So then he had to marry her. But Rachel was like, if you give me some mandrakes, you can have him. And they traded the mandrakes. Never mind. It's supposed to be an aphrodisiac. I always loved that story. Rachel and Leah. I love the name Rachel. If RJ was a girl, I was considering naming him Scarlet Ray or Rachel, but R-A-E, so we can call him Ray, or we were just going to call him Ray, R-A-E. Like, that was going to be his first name. Scarlet Ray, Scarlet Rain, Rachel with an R-A-E, or just Ray. I knew he was a boy the minute I found out I'm pregnant. Yeah, that was a real story. Yeah. And then Leah was the one that bore all his children because Rachel couldn't have children, so she would use the mandrakes to try to get pregnant. I don't know. Never mind. Anyway, the mandrakes. No, I said if he was a girl. All right. Nut slap. Mandrake is another herb that has a long history with witchcraft and a great deal of lore linking it to fertility, sexual vigor, prosperity, and longevity. One common mandrake myth is that the herb emits deadly screams when pulled from the ground, killing anyone within earshot. As mandrake is a difficult and temperamental plant to grow, this story may have been spread by magical practitioners to discourage other people from over-harvesting the herb to obtain its powers. The most curious thing about mandrake is that its thick taproot has a tendency, with a little imagination, to resemble a homunculus or a miniature human being. This familiarity has earned mandrake a special place in witches' hearts and a multitude of applications in sympathetic magic. So you can get high off mugwort, and I think mandrake as well. I don't know why I know that. I know that mugwort is like about to be, or it just was banned. Like they can't sell it in witchcraft herb kits or just like in bulk anymore in the store or online. You have to get it in a witchcraft like kit, and they're going to stop putting it in. It's like illegal now because people are saying like if you burn it, which you burn it for ritual and ceremony, there are things that it works for, but you can start hallucinating from it. It's hallucinogenic. Love is in the air, not slap. I told you. And you should take in the aroma for yourself. Allow your heart to be open to some romance, and it shall find its way right to your doorstep. Someone is trying to spread stories or rumors about you to scare you off and prevent you from achieving your goal. Get to the root of why. Is your goal valid, or could it be potentially harmful? They may be jealous, but perhaps they are genuinely concerned about your intention. Practice clarity in your communication and actions. There's no easy or fast road to big rewards that are truly worthwhile. Eschew tantalizing shortcuts and lazy practices. Fully invest the time and care needed to perform a task properly and responsibly. Build any house as if you yourself were going to live in it. Okay, so there's a lot. I don't know anything about Harry Potter, all right? It's Harry Potter. Anyways, there is love around you. And I've been telling you this for months and months and months. Yeah, Batmom, I'm not sure if they're banning it all across the United States or if it's just in certain states. I'm not sure, but there's a ban coming on mugwort because you can get high from it, allegedly. And I'm not saying you should do that. I don't support doing drugs at all. Okay, so we'll talk about the love quickly because I don't think you're open to it, and I think that's why it's not coming. But you could end up meeting somebody. I've been seeing a blondie around you for a while. Could end up randomly coming across her, but you got to leave your house and you got to not be at work, right? Mugwort, and I'm not sure about mandrake, but I think so. Nut slap. Okay. So I feel like there's something coming in that you're going to be asked to do or tasked with doing, nut slap, that you do not want to do. So you kind of have to. I don't know if this is something for work. It's like, that's not my job. And you're going to like try to breeze right through it. Here's the thing. You'll be able to breeze through it. You'll be able to cut corners and take like kind of the easy way out and get it done very, very quickly. But you're going to pay for that if you do it. If this is something with work and you cut corners and take the easy way out to get something done, you're probably going to lose your job. If this is something to do with like at home, I don't know what it is. It's like, I just see you being like, I'm not doing that. And then you realize you kind of have to. I don't know if someone's asking you, like if your mom asks you, you can't say no to mom, right? So you do it, but you do it like not with the love and care that you should be doing it with. I just see like, what they're showing me is like the ground opening up like a sinkhole, meaning whatever you're doing could end up hurting somebody if you don't do it the right way. Don't cut corners. Don't take the easy way out. The hard road is the best road to take when it comes to tasks, things you're being tasked with, your job performance. I feel like somebody I don't know if it's at your work, somebody is kind of like lying about you, saying that you do a crappy job somewhere, or someone's trying to get you in trouble with someone. But listen, we're adults here. Okay. We're adults. So this high school teenage BS, I feel like if you just ignore it, do whatever you're supposed to be doing, both personally and at your job, and it'll go away. If you confront this person or try to stand up for it, it's not going to make a difference. So ignore the rumors, ignore the BS, ignore the drama. Don't cut corners. There's no get rich quick schemes that are going to work out for you in the next couple months at least. Just keep doing what you're doing. Try to have a more positive, open energy, because that's what will attract people in. If you stay closed off in sarcasm, I love your sarcasm. It's one of the things I love about being friends with you. We think very, very much alike. But like sometimes that can be a shield, and it could block people and push people away because they don't know that you're being sarcastic. They think you're being rude. Just open yourself up a little bit more. Andrew, we didn't think of Nomeo either. So we have several more people because Black Dragon paid. So who is next? And Lara too, actually. So Lara gave me 20.
Oh, that's true too. We'll go ahead and do Batmom.
All right. Batmom, we're going to use Seeker. Guys, thank you so much for all of the donations, regardless of how you donate. Please remember, PayPal and Cash App I get right away. I really could use the money. As always, you know, it's the end of the week. I only get paid by YouTube once a month, which will be the 21st. I am getting a little bit bigger of a paycheck this month, thanks to you guys. So thank you for that. Blue, I know it's crazy, but you're so open to it, right? And that's what's bringing it in. I know you don't want to talk too much publicly about it, and I get that, but just generally, Blue has kind of changed his whole way of being, kind of forced it, and it's bringing in so much prosperity and like really good people that I feel like, Blue, you may never have imagined you'd be friends with or be spending time with or even talking to. you've opened yourself to new horizons in a very positive way. And I do feel like that's why life is, not that it's simple or easy, but it's easy generally with everything you're going through, a new move, a new job, losing Shauna, that it's been easier on you because you've opened your mind and your heart. And I would love to see Nut Slap do that. You know, I would love to see Nut Slap open up like that as well. Put on the blonde wig and fulfill my destiny. I sent him pictures of me as a teenager the other day. And I was like, I was so fugly. And he's like, we would have been best friends immediately. I'm like, yeah, we definitely would have because we have the same mind. All right. Miss Batmom, the Seeker. Yeah, Seeker of Truth. Why not? Ooh, beautiful card. Wow. A choice to make. Blue, I love that. A blessing in disguise. Never be afraid to move outside of the comfort zone. That is absolutely true. All right. Check out this card. Batmom, unlike other mammals who are driven by instinct, we humans have the freedom to choose how we live our lives. Our life's journey is governed by choice, even when we choose not to act or someone else makes a choice for us. Stare into the flames and ask yourself, who do I want to be? If we were to stop and count how many choices we were faced with during a single day, we would be counting from the moment we wake up to the moment we sleep. With that in mind, ask yourself, how many unconscious choices do you make and how many are made with intent? Do you use your power wisely? Do you make considered, educated, empowered choices? Beautiful, right? Batmom, I agree. I think we all do. Why not you? You deserve the very best life can offer too. So do I. We all do. We have to think that way, honey. You're better than your worst mistake. You're better than the worst choice you've made. We all go through it. If I actually talked about some of it, and I'm not proud of it, okay? I don't think it's funny. I'm not ashamed of it either anymore. But if I talked about some of the things I did to people just to get like what I needed, which was usually money from them, like it's embarrassing now. I look at that person and I'm like, I feel bad for her, but I love her and I forgive her, you know? And I think we all need to do that. I know it's starting. I'm trying so hard not to because I put eyeliner on. Okay. The path a seeker walks is paved with choices. Batmom, like stepping stones, every choice marks a moment that moves us forward. Every choice we make in the present moves us along our path to our final destination. New England Dirt Roadie, I wouldn't. I think you'd get really sick. Multiple options create a forked path and a more complicated decision to make. Yes, there will always be moments when another person's choice affects us in an unexpected and unanticipated manner. In those moments, we can feel powerless. However, while we may not have the power to change our circumstances, we do have a choice in how we react and respond. I was just talking about this. Yes, you have a choice to make, Batmom. Will you take ownership of the flame, the power to govern your life and determine how you live it? And will you use this power to make choices that will improve your life? Hey, John, nice to see you. Oh, I miss you too. It's been like over a year. Okay. Yeah, I wouldn't. Like, you could literally end up in the hospital. That stuff smells strong enough that I think if it hit your lungs, you'd be in some trouble. Don't do it. Okay. So, Batmom, you're still in this kind of limbo of choice, right? You know what you're supposed to do, where you're supposed to be going, what you're supposed to be doing, but it's like, it's more, I'm just hearing like, this is more comfortable. You know, why stir the pot? Why wake up old ghosts? I'm good, right? I'm not good, but I'm good. That's the emotional detachment from the situation, right? Trying to live your life under the condition of the negativity surrounding you. So we talk about that all the time, emotionally detaching and just doing you, right? Batmom, the time has come though to make a move. Now, this doesn't mean, I'm just going to use an abusive relationship for an example because it's the easiest thing for me to explain and kind of refer to. So it doesn't mean you're in one. So you're in this abuse. You've emotionally detached. You're living your life, but you're still under the same roof and under the control of the abuser. You still make choices based on how this person's going to react, what this person's going to, how you're going to be punished, whatever, right? No, Smoochie, we just talked about that. Blue Crossroads. The universe is saying you're comfortable in the misery, right? It's become like second nature for you to make your choices based on some negative person, your abuser, the person who controls you, like based on how they feel. It's time for you to take the reins of your life and make choices based on what you really instinctively and instinctually feel you want and need to do and that you have to do. Because this is going to pull you out of whatever this negativity is and into something nut slap. I was going to say that. I took the words out of my mouth. And move yourself into something more positive, more full of light, more for you. You are not meant to be controlled, weighed, and bogged down, right? So while you may be comfortable, it's time to become comfortable with being uncomfortable, okay? It's not easy. It's not a just leave type thing, and it's probably a decision you're going to have to make continuously over and over again for months, possibly years. But it's starting now, the separation from whatever this is, this negative situation, and you, okay? Keep on the right path. Every day, make one decision without considering them. Whoever this person is or these people are. Just one small decision, right? And then next week, start making 2 decisions. Like, you're meant and worth so much more, Bat Mom. And I know what that comfortability is. I know. Trust me, I get it. But everything has to end sometime, and this is the beginning of the end for you. Again, it's probably going to drag on for a year or 2, but this is the start of something really big and special in your life. So embrace it by making choices based on what's going to make Bat Mom happy. Not everybody else, you. All right? Who's next?
Cindy Lee.
Mama Cindy, I'm going to use Moonology Manifestation. Okay. There's definitely something holding you back. Maybe it's the fear of having another toxic relationship. You're moving into a higher vibration. I think that's what I'm saying. The fear of because of the trauma, and it's working with that. And I'm glad you're actually not in a relationship, because that means that it'll move so much quicker. Make small changes every day, okay? Face your fears little by little every day. You're moving into a really beautiful energy. I'm very overwhelmed and emotional looking at it. And I can't wait for you to make it there. I can't wait for you to come in here and be like, Gemma, oh my God, I got the best news. And work with the fear. Move against it until you get to the point where you banish it, where you get so used to not being afraid anymore. And that could take a really long time. But don't let anyone else manipulate or control your decisions. I'll go this far, okay? For the next 2 months, don't take anyone's advice. Just do you. No matter how much someone says they want to help, no matter how desperate you are, you follow your instinct and your intuition. All right, Mama Cindy, I hope there's some good news for you. This is usually a pretty positive deck. Last quarter moon in Leo. Lighten up, girl. Lighten up. Mama Cindy, what's happening for you right now can turn out well, but you need to find a balance between the light and the dark of the situation. Get in touch with some lighter and happier feelings to clear away any energetic debris that may have grown out of your fears. That said, this isn't about glossing over any dramas and pretending all is well if it's not. A positive attitude towards life now will help clear away any upsets. That's what I'm telling you guys. Yes, getting to know me, getting to know all about me. 2 very strong energies are at play here, Cindy. All the things you fear and your vitality. Drawing this card suggests you need to lighten up just a little bit. Happy manifesting comes from a happy place. Make a list of your blessings. Literally write them down. Your manifestation affirmation for this week is, when I forgive myself, I set me free. So I feel like there is a very negative, maybe sad, traumatic situation going on, which you just said you've been having a bad couple of weeks at least, you're not to blame for this. So I don't know if someone is putting blame on you, but if they are, tell them to go poop themselves, right? Because sorry, I said poop. So you did not cause or create this. All you did was try to help and like give all of your energy to what and or whoever this is. It still didn't work out, but that's because it wasn't meant to. It had nothing to do with you. You're taking on too much negative responsibility for something that failed or didn't happen. I'm doing it every time I say the word. I'm just saying. I've been doing it for a couple weeks. So, Mama Cindy, I know this may be hard to hear, but I think you just need to get out, have some fun, right? Do something you enjoy, even if it's in your house. You have got to stop focusing every single ounce of energy you have on other people. I'm shocked by what I'm seeing. Like, you are totally and completely empty. You have given it all away and you're unhappy because you're not doing anything at all for you. Because you're a great, beautiful, kind-hearted, wonderful, giving, caring human being, but you've got to also focus that energy into you. Who's giving that to you? For the next 2 weeks, this is your homework. It's coming from your guides, not from me. Do the best you can. Don't feel like you fail if you end up doing this, but listen, for the next 2 weeks, do everything you can to not help anyone. I know that sounds bad. Obviously, if someone's in an emergency or emergent situation, you help them. Otherwise, do just for you. If someone asks you to help with something, no, I'm sorry, I can't. That's also going to help you weed out who's the negative, energetic human straws, right? The energetic vampires. If someone's going to be mad with you because you don't feel like helping them move, you don't want to lend them money, you don't feel like going to visit them, you don't feel like whatever, then maybe they're not meant to be in your life because all they're doing is taking. You have total control right now on how you feel for the most part. Get out and have some fun. Stay in your house and have some fun. Binge Netflix, like whatever you like to do. That secret little thing that you love to do all alone and by yourself, do it. Stop giving your energy away. Refill your cup, Cindy. I promise you'll feel better, baby girl. I've never seen anything like that before. Just someone totally, I think I've seen it on Endo once or twice. But you are just done. Like, you have nothing left energetically to give. You have to refill. And whatever makes you happy is how you're going to do that. Who's next? How many more do we have now? You're welcome, Cindy.
Well, Andrew, if Life with Bobby, does she get one?
She's here.
If she wants one. And Baby Dragon, Black Dragon.
All right. I'm not in a rush. I'm just asking.
And timestamps.
Okay, so Andrew Nomio's next?
Yes, if he's still here. You still here, Andrew?
I dropped some of the deck. Hold on, guys. I got it. This is when you talk. I don't understand. I don't understand. Oh, thank you, Bat Mom. Thank you, John. Did nobody hear me say this is when you talk?
Yeah, but you were still talking while you were doing all that. Now,
when I see you,
weren't you?
I'm going to Homer Simpson you. Why, you little...
Go for it and see what happens.
I love you. John, thank you. You're so sweet. John said, we all know this already, but Gemma is too beautiful, both as a person and obviously her stunning looks. Any friend she has is obviously so unbelievably blessed and lucky to have her in their lives. Thank you. I feel blessed to have you guys, you know, to have you guys here with me every week, loyally and faithfully, just like listening to me, and taking me seriously, right? Because I live with a non-believer, so I can't talk about what I do or like what makes me happy or any of my achievements or accomplishments. So I leave that up to you guys to sit and listen. Smoochie, what are we talking about?
Is Andrew even still here? Or did he have to leave?
Nomeo, are you here? No. Got to get moving.
He might have gotten me. He was at a truck stop, so I don't know if he fell asleep or.
All right, Area 51, are you here? John
No, I think
Music,
they
do
left.
you want
They
a
left.
reading?
There they go. And Life with
Who's
Bobby,
next?
if you want one.
Life with Bobby, let's do this.
Somebody speak
No.
up.
Smoochie, I wasn't talking to you. Yeah, it's hard when you have a non-believer because you can't share. Like, I'll see things around this person and I want to tell them, you know, hey, you have this ancestor around you, and they're saying, but this person would take it as me telling them what to do and like being advantageous, right? So I can't just say like, oh, your mom's here and she's saying that she doesn't like the way you're treating me, or it's true, but how does that sound to someone who doesn't believe, right? It sounds like I'm just using their mom as a pawn. So I don't say anything and I just tell her like, I know. All right, Miss Life with Bobby. You know, John, some people were put here meant to not believe. That's part of their soul's path and journey, to be completely disconnected. That's why if, like I said this in a recent video, if you have a whole family living in a haunted house, the house is, you know, under demonic attack. 3 kids and the parents, mom and dad. That's why 2 of the kids and the mom will be attacked and constantly see things happening. And the dad and the other kid will be like, this house, what are you talking about? It's because they're so closed off. My stepfather was the same way until, I'm going to tell this story real quick. He was in the hospital at the end of his life. And he used to say, Gems, if a ghost tapped me on the shoulder and said, yo, I'm a ghost, you got to believe, I would not believe it. I think there was something wrong with me. But at the end of his life, actually yesterday was 3 years since he passed of complications due to COVID. And Black Dragon, I love that song. But at the end of his life, he was talking about seeing these men in tuxedos that had top hats, and they were walking by and tipping their hat to him. And these little green lizard things, goblins, were like running around his bed. And he said, I would kick them. And finally, he's like, on the 3rd night, I realized I was seeing spirits and I just started giving them the middle finger. And he wasn't on any like hallucinogenic medication. So he understood at the end of life there was more. And that's what happened. You know, people who, well, I call them the takers. They're the soul men, right? They weren't there for him, but they were kind of waving to him and they were freaking him out. They're like, you know, the skull faces. But everyone comes to belief at their own time. It's just very, very hard with seeing as much as I do. Even when I try to keep myself closed off, it is hard. All right. Life with Bobby, you got the Maiden of Earth, the card of beauty. This card comes out all the time. It's one of those cards. All right, Maiden of Earth. Could be dealing with a Capricorn or someone with big Capricorn energy. The exquisite Maiden of Earth sits in a lush garden at full harvest, radiantly at peace in her element. She is sacred form, embodying beauty, health, and wholeness. At home in the world, she cares for herself and others with intuitive wisdom. Living in harmony with nature, all of life responds to her purity and radiates fruition and beauty back to her. She exemplifies oneness with the natural world and the ease and joy of being in cooperation with nature. The Maiden of Earth is here to encourage you to embrace your beauty and your feelings. Honor your body's wisdom and know that you are one with Mother Nature in all her facets. She reminds you that your true beauty shines forth as you are in harmony with the natural world and the life force. Find your earthly intuitive center and move through your world as this earth maiden does, with beauty and inner wisdom. You have to follow your instinct and intuition. Life with Bobby, there's a situation in your life right now that you know what the answer is, but you don't want that to be the answer, so you're not acting, right? So for example, you know intuitively that, I'm just using this as an example, that your partner's cheating, and you know it. You know they're not treating you right. You know you got to leave, but you don't want that to be true. And because you don't have any proof or tangible evidence, you're not going anywhere, right? So this is the universe telling you, you know, do what makes you happy, do what you need to do. But what's making you happy right now, is it pure happiness? Or is it just, well, it's better than nothing? The lesser of two evils is still evil. I feel like this is something where you're like, well, this is just what I'm used to, you know, and it's okay for now. But when does the for now become forever? When does that spark of change happen within you that you're like, you know what? I deserve more. I deserve more, because you do deserve more than whatever this is. The universe is saying you can sit still if you want to, but you're not ever going to be at peace as long as you're around someone or several people, whatever, who continuously disturb and disrupt your peace. It's not time yet to make a decision where the universe is like, if you don't make one, we're going to make it for you. And it's going to be the more evil one, because we need you to learn this lesson. But you're almost there. If you know something to be true, accept it. When someone shows you who they are, believe them. And just if this is a romantic relationship, if it is, or if it's with someone you have to live with or work with, and you just have no choice right now, like you can't just leave, because I hate when people say just leave, you can at least emotionally detach yourself from the false promises, the future faking, the gaslighting, the breadcrumbing, okay? And get yourself to a point where you understand you do deserve better. All right, who's next? Hey, Kelly. All right, after Kelly, we're shutting down.
Well, you got Baby Dragon to do too, Black Dragon, and
I'm just saying no more after Kelly.
Oh, okay.
After this, no more.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. It's been a long day.
Yeah, it has been. Baby Dragon, and then Kelly, and then time seems.
All right, cool.
Did John want one? You asked John if he wanted one. I didn't know if he wanted one or not.
He didn't answer. John, if you want a reading, let me know. I was reading. He said, yes, I do. I need to work on my confidence in myself. Yeah. And you know what? That takes time, and that's okay. Blue Crossroads. Yeah. There's time to be still. There's a time to move, but don't get so used to sitting still and taking it because it's been so long. You have become accustomed to it. Get up and move forward. It's being comfortable in a bad situation, because that's what you like. If you start to think like, I've been trained to deal with this, and start to get upset and like mad about it, you'll be more moved to do something. If you need confidence, every single person here could tell you, you deserve better. You are amazing. You are a woman. You deserve to be treated like one. You deserve to be treated like a human. And I know I don't know you, and I would say this to anyone in here, but that's because anyone who's in here all the time, I know their vibration. They're right there with me, and I know what I deserve, and I know what I will get. Point blank, period. Because I know my worth now. I know what I bring to the table. I know what I will accept, what I won't accept. All right. I know how I'll behave and respond and react with respect, dignity to my partner, or to other people, but I will demand the same in return. And if I don't get it, I will move on. That took me years. And you guys are the ones who helped me with that. Every single one of you that came in here week after week telling me I'm amazing, I'm on point, helping my self-confidence with my looks, right? I'm losing my hair. I have a bad vitamin deficiency that they can't figure out what it is. You guys don't care. And that's why I feel so strongly about helping you all with this as well. Baby Dragon, we're using Dark Goddess again. That means usually we got to get to the bottom of something. She said, yes, preach. Well, it's true. If I didn't have this, and I think that that's why the person in my life hates what I do. I think that's why, because I'm confident now and I see the game being played. That's right. Heather, she said, we got this. Yes, we do. And we're a team. We're a soul family, guys. That's why we're here every week. Notice sometimes people come in and they literally can't stand to be in here. They're not ready. They're not with us. They're not our people. Oh, girl, you got one of my favorite goddesses, the Morrigan. She's the card of sovereignty. All right. And Heather, you know what? before I read for Baby Dragon, I want to say sometimes we do. Sometimes we learn it, we're in our power, and then we lose it again. And that's a process of not losing it, right? Because it does depend a lot on our environment. We are only human. Even if we're aware of our spirituality, we're aware of how weak we are in some areas. As long as we're aware and working on it, we will never be stuck. Not for long, anyway. You guys got this. Heather, I'm so proud of you. Your growth from the first time you came in here till now is just beautiful to see on social media. I'm so proud. I really am. I'm proud to call you a friend, and you know, I really am. Baby Dragon, a raven heralds a battle cry. Angry mists swirl through the sky. The Morrigan will serve you well. You'll survive where others fell by the power of the dark goddess in me. Protection in place, blessed be. Your hackles are up, and as though ravens and crows caw and circle above you, war has been declared and battle must commence. Having survived all that you've endured, Baby Dragon, you've built a strong fortress around you for protection. Good night, Cliff. Love ya. This defense system is so firmly in place that you're ready to fight at a moment's notice. Like the goddess of battle herself, you have become a blunt, rough, and sometimes violent warrior when it comes to defending your honor, and those who are close to you now fear your wrath. When the Morrigan appears, a battle cry goes up, but she will show you how to choose your fight carefully with wisdom as your tool as you reclaim your sovereignty. Don't be afraid of a little drama. Allow others to see that you mean business. You can do this in a kind and loving way, but remain true to yourself. And this goes for all of us. Be not ruled by others, but appreciate your allies who have your best interests at heart. This is literally what we were just saying, what Heather and I were just talking about, what Blue was saying. Baby Dragon, a storm is brewing, but don't avoid conflict. Face it head on. You're being too defensive with others. A new piece of evidence assists your case. Don't back down. Take a softer approach. Not everyone is against you. Build up your mental and physical strength. This means don't take it out on others, right? There are people that you need to maybe fight against or stand up to right now. But I feel like there's like a nervousness or some kind of fear in like, it's kind of like when you get into a fight, like with your significant other, just say, and you're hanging out with your sister and she says one little thing and you just snap because you're so aggravated with him that now you're snapping on, she didn't even do anything. That's what I see here. Now, as far as new evidence coming in, it's like the last piece of a puzzle for you. Something you've been trying to put together in your head. Something seems like it's not right, but you really can't. It's coming in the next 2 weeks. That information is coming to you in a download and intangible evidence. Baby Dragon, I would say this is off card, but I'm getting don't sign a contract just yet. Wait about a month and negotiate for yourself. This doesn't have to mean a literal contract. It can mean something to do with your business. Like negotiate for yourself. Don't let anyone take advantage of you. Don't be afraid to say, no, that's not enough money you're paying me. Or no, I'm worth more, right? Again, it's about knowing your worth. Please aim your anger and agitation, aggravation, frustration at the source of it. Because I feel like you could end up accidentally, inadvertently alienating people. And the people that you're taking it out on, they love you. These are good people in your life. And I feel like that's why you're so comfortable, because you're just venting. But you could end up hurting someone's feelings. Confront the bully, the bigot, the jerk, the manipulator. Confront that person. Don't be afraid. The people that you would take it out on that have your back, they're going to be right behind you having your back. You're not alone in this fight. You have people fighting for you, including your dad. Your dad will literally kill for you. I love your dad. I love you. So let's go. How do we do this? Who are we contacting? Don't be afraid. The worst that could happen is this person leaves your life. If for example, someone's trying to buy your bakery's worth $500,000. They're trying to force you and bully you and manipulate you to sell it to them for $100,000. But you're too afraid to be like, no, it's worth way more, because you start thinking, well, that's cocky, that's conceited, that's narcissistic. That's what you were trained, like putting yourself first is conceited. That's what we used to call it, right? No, you're just standing up for yourself. You're just speaking the truth. The person's trying to manipulate you. Why do you care if you hurt their feelings or make them mad? F them. And that's the kind of energy the universe is telling you to go into this with. And you have a small army behind you. I don't know who these people are. I know I'm one of them. I know, you know what I'm saying? Heather, I took my power back. Damn right. And that's for the men too. It's not just the ladies in here. Empathic men go through a lot of the same things. I mean, just empaths in general, always taking on everyone else's mess and never being able to really fix ourselves because we're always working on everyone else. Like, it has to stop. We have to put ourselves first. This doesn't mean eating the last of the food when your kid is starving. This is like, I need to be positive and happy. So I take 15 minutes a day, no matter what I'm doing. If I got to do it at the end of the night, when my son goes to bed, I do my yoga. I put the sound, the binaural beats in, and I do the yoga because it centers me, it grounds me, it fills me up, it makes me happy. It refocuses me. You have to find something like that. It doesn't have to be yoga. It doesn't have to be meditation. It could be just listening to music, something that puts you in a good mood. Ashley, do not be afraid to fight for what's right and to stand up for yourself and your family. Again, who gives a flying F word if this horrible person or these horrible people are mad with you or think you're being unfair? Like they're not good. They're not good people. So F them. You got this. You definitely got this. Who's next?
Did John say yes? Do John. Well, if you want to do John, because he was in there before Kelly.
Okay.
Then do Kelly.
John, are you still here?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Black Dragon, what song is that? You know what song just came into my head? Everything I do it for you. There's no love like your love. I love that song. Okay, John, if you don't answer, I'm going to move on to Kelly, and we're going to move on because I've got to end. I've got to get up at 7 in the morning. Hey, what's up, Nightmare? Guys, listen, I really could use the money. Any donations, PayPal, Cash App, I really... I know people hate when I e-beg, but I'm desperate, so it is what it is. All right, John's not answering, so I'm going to read for Kelly. Kelly, are you still here? Brian Adams, yep. The movie Dances with Wolves is one of my absolute favorite movies. I actually haven't seen that in so long. All right, so Kelly's not answering. John's not answering. I'm going to move on because I've got to end. If they come back, I'll just read for them. So I'm going to read for KC right now with the Human Spirit Oracle.
You want to do Black Dragon first?
Oh, sorry, Black Dragon. Yeah, I'm sorry.
And then you can do your timestamps.
Yeah, sorry about that.
That's all right.
All right, Black Dragon. The road less traveled. Card number 1 in the reverse shadow position. Oh, well, look at you. Just like a feather blowing all over the place. We love your trust in the universe, but you also need to recognize when it's time to stand your ground and change the things you don't like that are coming your way. This is the same reading I just gave Ashley. Sometimes all the universe wants of us is to stick up for ourselves, to find our worth, and to demand it. Okay? If you are always just playing along, if you're always just going along the path of least resistance because you're afraid of what might happen, then like the feather, you will always just be blown any way the wind takes you with no control. It takes time now to stand in your power, and the trick to that is balance. The balance of knowing when it's time to rely on your roots or when it's time to go with the flow. Even a river knows when to bend or find a better path. So if this plane isn't going where you'd like, take the next one. Black Dragon, I'm sorry that it's almost the same reading, but it's kind of the same thing. Like, when is enough enough? Right? You're going with the flow. You're like, okay, if this is the way you want to do things, maybe you're unhappy, but you're like, want to make this other person or these other people happy. So you're just constantly giving and giving and giving to a situation. And that's great. That's great that you're kind-hearted and you want to help and you want to see others happy. But when does it come time for Black Dragon to be happy? When does it come time for you to say, you know what? I really don't want to do this anymore. Or no, I don't want to give money to that. I don't want to give effort to that. I don't want to give energy to this. I don't love you anymore. Again, we're so afraid of hurting the feelings of the people that are hurting us. Or of, making them angry. But we're human too. Black Dragon, in the next couple of weeks, what the universe wants you to do with this card is stand your ground. No means no, literally. And if you have to say that, you have to say that. I would say, just like I believe it was Mama Cindy, I think, don't do anything for anyone except yourself in the next 2 weeks to the best of your ability, right? Of course, if you have kids and stuff, you got to take care of them. It doesn't mean don't love your wife. You know what I'm saying? If you have one, I don't know. But like, this is about you. If you don't want to do something, not doing it. And if you feel selfish about it, oh, well, you feel selfish. It's not selfish. It's time for you to step by step learn to take your power back, because like Blue said, you never really lost it, and stand up for what you want. If you don't want to do something, don't do it. Stop going along to get along. Who's next?
You are done with them. When you're doing Lotus and KC, right?
Yeah.
And that's it.
All right. Miss Lotus, I am going to use Myths and Mermaids. Well, maybe that's it then. You need to find one. The universe is kind of saying, like, you're not living. The whole point of being here is to have a human experience and to live life and to, experience things. I could just keep hearing experience. Like, get out and do something, even if it's totally out of the normal, even if you really, really, I know it's contradictory because it's like only do what you want to do. But even if you feel like, I'm too tired to go do this, or if it's something that in your heart of hearts or in your instinct and intuition, Black Dragon, are you saying, or Nightmare, I'm sorry, are you saying you want a reading, or are you saying that you have no life outside of work? Like, it's time for you to get one. It's time for you to get one. That's okay, Bat Mom, because the song that's been in my head all day is They Not Like Us. Hey, Drake, I hear you like them young. You better not ever go to cell block 1. Any girl that talk to him and he in love, just make sure you hide your little sister from him. I heard Chubb's the only one that gets your hand-me-downs. Party after party playing with his nose now. And Baka got a weird case. Why is he around? Certified lover boy, certified pedophiles. Wop, 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 wop. Don't mess him up. Wop, 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 wop. I'm going to do my stuff. Why you trolling like a chick? Ain't you tired? Trying to strike a chord. And it's probably a minor. Bow, bow, now. They not like us. They not like us. They not like us. Did you hear the entire Super Bowl stadium yell A minor? I'm not a Kendrick Lamar fan. I think he's way too political. It's like shut up and rap. I'm not a fan. I'm a Drake fan for sure. I've always been. I love Drake. But I love that song. I love it. There's a video of me. Someone caught the first second, and then someone else caught the last 2 seconds. I rapped that whole verse in the middle of the room during the Super Bowl, and I just danced and screamed it out and rapped it, and everyone was like, go Gemma, yeah, yeah. And my friend May got the first 2 seconds, and my friend Pauline got the last 2 seconds, and nobody got the in-between. All right, Miss Lotus Girl. Green Mermaid Triplets, card number 9. No, he's not. A sprightly green and black mermaid is flanked on either side by identical mermaid sisters. This inseparable trio is held together by a strong familial bond, presenting themselves as a united front against the worries of the world. Tennille, you're not alone. There's no need for you to feel so isolated. You've got your quote-unquote sisters by your side, and you do. You have me and Arisha, so there you go. That's the 3 of us, the charmed ones. The world is so much easier to face when you do it hand in hand. Even when they're not there bodily, know they are with you in mind and heart. Yes, if you need an ear to listen, a shoulder to cry on, perhaps a pep talk to cheer you on, you know who to turn to. So stop being so hesitant to reach out. Come on, I tell you literally everything. Like, I probably tell you so much that you might cringe and be like, oops, TMI, right? lean on me. And you know what? You've been doing that. And this is the universe telling you, like, it's okay. Don't ever think you're bothering. If someone says, like me, like, you're not bothering me, you're not bothering me. And I do feel like whether it's me or someone else, your connection with someone is really going to be beneficial to your situation, right? Like, there's information being given, there's confidence being built. This is a really great relationship that you have. This is the universe telling you, don't back away from people when you're going through what you're going through. You're going through a really hard time right now, a really scary time with your husband's health and with your own, right? With your business, like everything feels like it's collapsing around you. The more you reach out, the more help you're going to bring in, because you're going to be able to perceive who's really going to be a help and who's kind of on the sidelines. He is a poet. He received a poetry award. Best musical protest I've seen in a long while. Yeah, you know, my political views are opposite of his, but I give credit where credit's due, and I don't dislike people just because of their politics. So he's a poet. I personally don't like him because of his constant, like, political statements, but I don't blame him for it either. And I have listened to the lyrics of some of his music. It's great. I'm just a Drake fan, which immediately made me dislike him, because Drake's music brings me back to a time in my life where I was happy and things were very simple. And yeah, Drake's music, I know it's weird to say, but you know how, like, when you listen to certain music or a certain song, you get memories that flood back? When I listen to a lot of Drake's music, I get really beautiful memories of a very happy time in my life. So it didn't matter if he was singing, I love Trump, I love Trump. I still wouldn't care for him. I just don't like him. All right, Miss Casey, last one of the night. Black Dragon, I actually feel the same way. Sometimes I tell Netter stories just so he feels better about his life. I'm like, you know, this one time, if I started telling life stories on TikTok, I would go viral within 5 posts. But I know that it probably would embarrass my husband, so I don't. He's not as okay and accepting of my past as I am. All right, Miss KC. I think I'm going to go make some pasta with meat sauce. That sounds good right now. The poisoned apple. Guys, don't forget prayers for Aunt Edna's grandson, Caleb, to get a $400K scholarship. That would be amazing. Drop to your knees prayers. Aunt Edna's grandson, Tennille, and her husband, Harold. I saw stroke, heart attack. I saw something very bad happening with his health. So we're trying to get him to, he's going to the doctor. He's getting all the tests. He's going to be fine. It was given to me as a warning. Okay. But let's pray for them. Tennille and her husband, Harold. And Casey, who I'm reading for right now, has been in and out of the emergency room, the hospital. I'm not going to get into private details because she didn't tell me I could. But she also, back in October, lost her husband of 43 years. So, you know, let's pray and give love and light and energy. If you don't pray, that's okay. Just send out some light. Yeah, where is Mark? That's so true.
Mark is back at ICU again. I'm going to reach out to him tomorrow. He posted it, and then I heard from somebody that knows him, and so I'm going to reach out tomorrow.
You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to call him on the phone. I think he would really appreciate that.
That would make his day.
It would really. I'm going to call him tomorrow. I'm going to do an actual phone call. I think he would really, that might cheer him up. Okay. I'm always praying for you guys, but sometimes we got to give a little extra energy, you know? And you survived because you're a warrior. Your soul is ancient. You were in Egypt. You were on the battlefields with the native tribes. You were in the Civil War. You were back in BC times, having a very easy life. So to make up karmically for those easy lives that we live, we have to live rougher. So it's like one really super duper easy life and then like 16 roughs, right? Because our soul learns almost nothing from the easy lives. No, it's not. Unfortunately, no. That's enough for this lifetime, sure. And who knows, the harder your life is, the closer you are to not having to incarnate again. Do you know the only people I know that I've met, like deceased, like spirits, that ever say there's no possible way they're ever going to incarnate again and they don't have to? It's always the celebrities. Always the celebrities. Patrick Swayze, not incarnating again. Luke Perry, never again. Paul Newman, nope, not doing it. Farrah Fawcett, nope. Michael Jackson, nope. They all said they are not incarnating again. The Black Dahlia is on like her 35th life of dying very, very young, trying to be famous. And it's the same dude every single time. She's not learning the lesson. Now, if in one lifetime she makes a different choice and ends up living past whatever age she dies at, she's changed the karma and now she can move forward and have different experiences. She's stuck in a cycle. Kelly, I'll get to you next, honey. I did call you, but it's okay. All right, KC, are you afraid of being poisoned? Said the old woman. Look, I'm cutting the apple in two. You shall eat the red cheek and I'll eat the white. But the apple had been made so cleverly that only the red cheek was poisoned. Casey, when someone intends to hurt us, they rarely take a route that's conspicuous and easy to see. They tend to plan and to plot and then to find a way that will reach us, that will get to us, so they use camouflage. So it is with the poisoned apple in the story of Snow White. The apple, a symbol of wisdom and knowledge, a symbol of feminine power and of magic due to its internal five-pointed star, has been tainted and made to hold poison. So this tale holds an underlying message that something that should nourish us can also destroy us. The old woman, who would be a source of wisdom, becomes a source of false wisdom. False wisdom is when those who are elders are sometimes embittered and what they pass on can be tainted. So when this card comes to you, question the reason for the bitter words and lessons. What seems to be a gift is actually designed to hurt. Within this tale, there's a moment where cunning and guise, ruse and artifice take advantage of the good-heartedness of the recipient. This is probably having to do what we talked about in your personal that I wasn't really understanding. It's like this nasty pushback to something you're doing in the middle of your grieving process. Like, this pisses me off now. Who is being so... I'm sorry, but no. When this card comes to you, ask what gift it is that disguises malintent. Ask what temptation has been offered that is a poison for the soul. Think again and again before you accept a poisoned apple. Remember the wolf in sheep's clothing. Remember the arts that those who hunt can use, and refuse the apple. Find your own way to power, to knowledge, to love, and to wisdom. And if you have accepted the poison apple, don't fear. You will recover, and the pain you journey through will grant you the gift of experience, true sight, and a clear view of your relationships. I feel like something you're involved in is bad. Like I'm just going to say a support group. That's probably not what it is, but I'm going to use that as an example. No, it's okay, Kelly. Don't worry about it, honey. I'm going to use this as an example. So you join a support group for wives who are grieving, and it turns out that like they're a cult. You know what I mean? There's something here that you've given time, effort, and energy to. You received a lot of pushback to stand up for this person, to stand up for this belief, like protesting, whatever it is that you're doing. And you might have lost people in the process, but now it's turning into something negative. Casey, really think about what you're getting involved in, why you're getting involved in it, and how much you're willing to give to it. How much are you willing to lose for whatever this is? I have no idea what this means, but I know you're going to tell me and we're going to talk about it. The deleting of the messages, like I said, I do that a lot. I don't mean to, but I would love to have a conversation because this makes me very worried. I feel like somebody's trying to take advantage of and manipulate you because of your grief. They're trying to use your grief as a tool against you to get you to go along with something that's not good for you. And you're not thinking clearly. You're looking for the next thing to focus on to try to take your mind off it. And you end up in something negative, that's not helpful to you at all. And it's just a drain on your energy, maybe your finances, you've got to separate. You've got to really separate yourself. Think clearly and make your own decisions. Do not be led. Now, I'm going to read for Miss Kelly, and then we're going to be done. Kelly, I'm going to use Moonology Manifestation. So, Nightmare, you don't get sent back. You actually choose. You got to remember, when you're on the other side, you can see your life as it was. Everything you were meant to do, why you made the decisions you made, you know, and you've learned from it. So all the hardships are actually really good on the other side because it's all the lessons you've learned. So you don't go back embittered like, oh, that life sucked. You're like, oh, wow, I learned so much through all of that. Because when you were contracting in the 5th dimension with our spirit team and our guides and all that, we forget, like, we understand pain, suffering, heartache, grief, fear, all that as a concept. So we chart these really difficult lives so that we can learn so much, forgetting how badly it's going to hurt and how much pain and suffering we're going to have to deal with. We're all going to be up there at the same time at some point, because most of us in here, I won't say all, but most of us in here are part of the same soul group. It's cliquey up there, you know, not in a crude or rude way, but like you might see someone like a famous person or someone you know, and like in passing, we don't all hang out in groups together, like everything. It's all love, but we stick with our own groups. There's like a group of like 100 to 200 people that are our soul family, and that's it. Those are the people we incarnate with. Those are the people that have the biggest effect on our lives. That's just how it is. If you're not connected with someone in this life, you more than likely will not be connected in the next life. We all play different roles in each other's lives every single time. It's just about when we were formed. All right, Miss Kelly girl, you got the new moon in Pisces, attuned to the divine. Yeah, Edna, you'll probably never will be again, but you have been. You've gone through that. We've all done it. You know, we've all been horrible people. But once you get to the point where we're at, and I'm not just saying this is absolutely true. Once you get to this point where you're so spiritually aware, I feel like with my gifts, right? You guys accepting the gifts, you guys have the abilities, the awareness is what makes it so that we will never come back as a cruel person, or as, you know, unless it's a contracted thing. People hate when I say this, but that guy in Germany, Bittler, he was contracted to do that, to make the changes in the world that were made because of it. He's not being punished for that. I'm sorry. I know people don't like when I say that, but it is absolute fact. Ted Bundy was a dark soul. No connection to the divine. He lost it. He was immediately put through the left door and reborn. No connection to spirit, no contract, no connection to source, to God, whatever you call it. The universe is not guiding him. He has no, you know what I mean? And people, what was her name? The atheist lady, she was murdered with her family. Madeline Murray. She was another one, a dark soul that just right through. And eventually they'll reconnect with the light, but it probably take thousands of incarnations. But for the most part, we're soul contracted, guys. All right, new moon in Pisces, attuned to the divine. Sorry. I could talk about this stuff all day. What's up, Area 51? I hate that he's like the only serial killer that they killed. They're all still alive. You can like write to them. I would have loved to have picked his brain. This is going to come off so weird, but I'm a weird person, and I don't mean this any disrespect to the victims. I love Ted Bundy. I would love to talk to Ted Bundy. I feel a connection with him. It's weird. I've always felt a connection to Ted Bundy ever since I was little. I've been obsessed with the case from like 6 years old on. I don't know what it is. All right, let me get this done. You have the opportunity to slip into the flow of life now. When that happens, you want what is happening, and what is happening is what you want. Your manifesting is working perfectly, Kelly. Just make sure that you stay attuned to your higher self, and you'll be well on your way to feeling blissfully happy and in tune with your dreams. Meditation is the best way to connect with your higher self, so practice it if you know how, or try learning from an online instructional video. Above all else, be kind to yourself and others. This card is an especially good sign for matters related to spirituality, contacting other realms, taking some time out, or dealing with fear. The more you can believe that all is well, the more all will be well for you. Your manifestation affirmation for the next week or two: my conscious dreams create my reality. This is about facing a fear, gaining courage. What is it that you want to do that you're afraid of? Right? There's something here. You're afraid of judgment. Yeah, I don't know about Mom. It just kind of came up. Sorry about that. Like I said, I could talk about contracts and I can talk about it all day. So Kelly, there's something here that you want to do. You know, you should do. Area 51, no. I met Lacey Peterson. That's no. No. All right, let me focus on Kelly. There's something here you want to do, but you fear judgment, right? So you're afraid to say like, hey, I'm going to go do this. There's something that you're meant to do though. Okay. And this is about regaining your power. It's about, being comfortable in your own skin, being comfortable enough to say, I don't accept that. I don't want that. I don't like that, whatever. We have been trained to give. Give the shirt off your back, give someone your last dime, all these things. And if you don't do it, you're selfish. That is not true. Kelly, you've got to start self-care, okay? Whether it's meditation, yoga, walking through the woods, putting your bare feet in the earth under the moonlight or the sunlight, it doesn't matter. You have got to reconnect. You're being controlled and you don't even realize it. You're being controlled by the fear of what other people are going to say, think, feel, do, want, need because of your decisions and your actions. But here's the thing. It's only directly affecting them because they're allowing it to, because they're all in your business and they don't belong there. Kelly, connect with source. Do it through prayer, meditation. You can use guided meditations off YouTube. I swear they work. I use them myself. I listen to them in my sleep. Past life regressions, do it while you're sleeping. They're 8, 9, 10, sometimes 12 hours. No ads, no commercials. Pop them in. You have to reconnect. You are so closed off, and it's a shame because your energy is that of like learning, growing, thinking, feeling, wanting, needing, like doing, like you are on the right track. But there is someone I'm seeing like over here that's just looking on you in judgment, and you're like, okay, I won't do that. Don't be mad. You need to work through that. You deserve to work through that. Okay? You deserve to have what you want, to do what you want. You're a grown woman. Do not let fear of judgment control you, because you know what? If they're judging you, that's on them. That is on them. If you are comfortable in what you're doing, do it, because that means you're meant to. Please look up on YouTube some guided meditations for while you sleep, meeting your guides, your past lives, just a deep sleep meditation to release fear. I'm telling you, they work. I use them all the time. All right. Guys, I love you all. I need to go cook some food. I'm tired. Thank you for coming in. Please, please, please donate money to my PayPal or Cash App. Pay me for my work. Monday, we're going to be talking about more paranormal encounters with Bigfoot. You know, more encounters that prove that Bigfoot is, in fact, an interdimensional. I pray for you all. I love you all. I'll see you next week here, but don't forget the pre-recorded on Monday. Guys, binge watch the shorts. They're from 5 to 59 seconds. It's not going to kill you, and it does wonders for my channel and for me. All right? Good night. They not like us. They not